Chapter 501. It's ominous. Seed shop headquarters, Lee's room. Phew, it's done. Lee, the god of abundance, who had become the proxy guardian deity of Enos on Sejun's behalf, looked at the map in front of her and completed the task of encircling the land, where the residents lived with a giant river using her divine power. Immediately, you have completed the construction of the giant river to block the fourth calamity, the petrifying spider. Quest completed. As a quest completion reward, you have obtained 100 divine power. As a quest completion reward, your divinity has increased by 5. The residents of Enos feel safe thanks to the giant river that can block the fourth calamity, the petrifying spider. The public safety of Enos improves. The chieftain of Enos allocates spare manpower to farming, increasing the food production speed. The population of Enos rapidly increases. A string of messages appeared. After the fifth calamity, slimes were wiped out by peace bees. The fourth calamity, the petrifying spider, invaded Enos. The petrifying spider, whose main diet was stone, was a terrifying creature that turned its prey into stone and devoured it, but it had a fatal weakness. It died upon contact with water. Normally, petrifying spiders invaded together with other calamities that removed water, but strangely, there were no additional reinforcements this time. This was thanks to Melpheus, who didn't even consider unit combinations. Did their commander suddenly become stupid? Well, that makes things easier for me. I'll build up power here for now before moving on. Is there anything else? As Lee pondered how to further develop the residents of Enos while looking at the map, the residents of Enos offer an evening prayer of gratitude to their guardian deity, producing 10,000 divine power. According to the contract terms, you receive 1% of the 10,000 divine power. You have obtained 100 divine power. The residents' prayers generated divine power. A large amount of divine power came in regularly 3 times a day, like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Sweet. As expected, Trustin Park, thank you. Lee once again felt grateful to Sejun, who had suggested she become a proxy guardian deity. Hehe, if I manage this place well, Park Sejun might even assign followers to my temple too, right? First, I'll start with that follower of mine. Just as Lee was happily indulging in her fantasies. Crack! Suddenly, a crack appeared in the flower pot in Lee's room. What's this? It's ominous. An inexplicable sense of foreboding swept over Lee. 99th floor of the Black Tower. Swoosh! As Sejun harvested the garlic from above Alice's body, you have harvested 6 clove garlic of mental strength. You're a field LV. 8 activates, inflicting additional damage. You're a field LV. 8 activates, harvesting the stats of Alice, the mesmerizing spider and 9th seed of the Apostles of Destruction. Strength increases by 50, stamina by 30, agility by 20, magic power by 50. The potential of all stats has reached its limit. You can no longer absorb stats. The harvested stats are returned to nature. A series of messages appeared. I'm sorry I couldn't accept you. Parting is inevitable when you meet someone. Find a better owner, goodbye. Sejun said, looking at the messages with an enlightened expression. Hitting the wall of potential, Sejun had been experiencing this kind of situation more frequently lately. As he continued to lose stats multiple times like this. Great Hybrid Chairman Park. In a hurry, Theo called out to Sejun and came running toward him. What? Thud. Why does he always run onto my face? Just as Sejun was about to ask for an explanation, Theo leaped and clung to his face, used meow step. Meow. Sejun grabbed Theo by the scruff and peeled him off. Chairman Park, we've been scammed, meow. Theo said with a serious expression. Even then, he still looked cute. Scammed? How could we possibly be scammed? Sejun asked, looking incredulous. It was odd to say this out loud, but at the moment, there wasn't anyone with the audacity to try and scam him. Lee Nim gave us a defective divine relic, meow. Theo shouted in an angry voice towards Sejun. A defective divine relic. That's right, meow. I put this into the pouch of abundance, and it broke saying its energy was exhausted, meow. It's defective, meow. Theo explained the situation, while showing Sejun the seed of great magic stream. Huh, what is that? Sejun noticed the seed in Theo's paw and asked. Then, Pew Hut, I hybrid vice chairman Theo made it exactly as great hybrid chairman Park plan, meow. Here, take it, meow. Theo gazed at Sejun with admiration as he handed over the seed. What plan did I make? With a puzzled expression, Sejun checked the name of the seed. Seed of Great Magic Stream. Seed of Great Magic Stream. Why was there a great in front of it? He quickly checked the seed's options. The content showed that it had evolved by combining 10 magic stream seeds, and a condition of requiring 500,000 or more magic power was added to the usage restrictions. What? The difficulty level for sprouting it just got way harder. It seemed the difficulty had shifted from hellish to impossible. No wonder it broke. Sejun immediately understood why the pouch of abundance had been destroyed. It was like trying to run a high-spec game on a low-end computer. Still, considering the fact that it had managed to create 10 magic stream seeds and then broke down, it had performed reasonably well, right? It's transformed into the seed of great magic stream just as I planned. Exactly, Pew Hut. Great hybrid Chairman Park is amazing, meow. Sejun threw a boastful shot at Theo, who was looking at him with admiring eyes. But can it evolve even further? He looked at the seed with pure intellectual curiosity, as sprouting it had already entered the realm of impossibility. Should I try putting it in the golden box of abundance? For a moment, he felt an urge to see what the next evolution of the seed of great magic stream would be like. But, no, wait, if I do that it could break too. In the worst case, he might lose his method for increasing medicinal mugwort and transcendence black beans. Especially since, lately, the dragons had been fighting Jormungandr, the world-devouring serpent and third seed of the Apostle of Destruction, and had used up a lot of transcendence black beans, placing a large order. If he broke the golden box of abundance out of mere curiosity, they'd definitely be furious. Plus, the dragons can't get hurt after all. Sejun also felt a sense of responsibility after hearing that thanks to the Transcendence Black Beans, the 4-Dragon Council had won the battle without losing any dragons. Just as Sejun was about to give up on putting the seed of great magic stream into the golden box of abundance. Then should we impeach Leenim, meow? Theo asked, flaring his nostrils with an expression full of expectation. No, this is Leenim's fault. The seed's ability is just too high. Meow, then we're not impeaching her, meow. Yeah. Got it, meow. Then if Leenim doesn't give us a new divine relic, let's impeach her, meow. With Plan A blocked, Theo immediately initiated Plan B. Of course, that would definitely be grounds for impeachment, heh. That's right, meow, Pew Hut. Thus, the two of them decided to get a new divine relic from Lee. To summon Leenim, we'll need the king of farming, so let's go find him first. All right, meow, let's go find the king of farming, meow. They went off to find Pottery, since the king of farming was currently helping Pottery as an assistant, squeezing sugarcane juice as an act of apology. However, as Sybil the 18th, I sent him on an errand to the 79th floor of the tower a few hours ago. As Sybil the 18th. It's short for Saint Ludwig Schrun Argon Walter XVI, which is the king of farming's real name. TL. This name is also created by combining Kosuenus from Schrun, Kosuduenus, and Kopaenus from Walter Kopethaenus, resulting in Kosubaenus S. Sybil, which is slang for fuck. Oh, did you come up with that, Pottery? You've got a knack for nomming things. You think so, but it's nothing compared to you, Sejun Nim. Oh, come on, it's not that special. No, seriously, when I think back to the shock I felt when you named Karurur. Karurur was indeed one of my best names. Sejun and Pottery continued chatting about numbing things. At that moment, Chairman Park, now's not the time to talk about that, meow. We need to hurry and catch S. Sybil the 18th, meow. Theo urged Sejun impatiently. Oh, right. Hey guys, tell Kyungi that I'm heading down to the 79th floor for a bit. Kwek. Sejun asked a passing mushroom ant to relay his message to Kyungi. Toryang. He called out to Toryang and used it to move to the waypoint. Minotaur King, if Kyungi comes looking for me, please tell him I went down to the 79th floor. Moo. Understood. Just in case, Sejun also asked the Minotaur King to pass the message along if he saw Kyungi. And then, clank. Vice Chairman Theo, get in. Kirorong. Carefully, Sejun placed Blackie and his followers, who were sleeping lazily in the sling bag, onto the storage floor, and then spoke to Theo. Got it, meow. Theo quickly entered the storage and waited by the door. Just wait a bit. Okay, meow. Clank. As Sejun closed the door to the void storage. I want to see Chairman Park soon, meow. Theo entered waiting mode. On the way down from the 90th floor of the Black Tower to the 80th floor. Tadadek. Riding on the back of a silver wolf, who had come down from the 99th floor, was S. Sybil the 18th. Well, was it always this pleasant here? It was a completely different experience compared to when he had been traveling with Uran and Piat. A little while later. We've arrived, see you next time. Yes, thank you. The silver wolf left after dropping S. Sybil the 18th off on the 79th floor. That must be Sparky Nim over there. Clang, clang. As Sybil the 18th began walking toward a massive tree that reached all the way to the sky. Are you Sparky? I'm your senior pottery who became a world tree before you. From now on, you should treat me with the respect a senior deserves. As Sybil the 18th was planning to deliver Pottery's message, who was trying to establish seniority as a world tree. But is it really okay to deliver the message like this? I'm just a messenger, so it should be fine, right? As Sybil the 18th naively thought nothing would happen to him. However, what did that little punk just say to our mother? This means war. The birds protecting Sparky, who overheard the conversation, didn't stay quiet. Having already lost their mother tree once, they were now extremely devoted to the current mother tree, Sparky. I'm doomed. Before he could even think of running, S. Sybil the 18th, who was from the 4th floor of the tower, was captured. Please tie me up gently, my bones will break. He was thrown in front of Sparky. Say that again. Did you just say to call Poteriappa a senior? Yes, but I didn't say it myself, it was. Silence, I've had enough. I've been meaning to teach Poteriappa a lesson for not listening to Flamey Nim, and today feels like the perfect day. I'll call for a world tree, meeting to settle who's the better world tree between me and Poteriappa. Flamey. Sparky was about to call Flamey to convene the world tree meeting, as all world trees were connected through Flamey. At that moment, Mother Sejun Nim has arrived. A bird hurriedly flew over to Sparky and reported. Sejun Nim. Then I'll ask Sejun Nim to decide who the better world tree is. Since Sejun was Flamey's master, in Sparky's view, Sejun's authority was far greater than that of the world tree meeting. And then, of course, Sparky is the better world tree. Sejun took Sparky's side. Because eggs have more uses than grapes, don't they? After all, there were more dishes you could make with eggs than with grapes. Thank you, Sejun Nim. Did you hear that? Now go tell Poteriappa, and also let him know that since I'm the superior world tree, he should treat me as his senior. Why, yes. Thus, S. Sybil the 18th was released. I don't want to go. His feet wouldn't move. If he delivered this news, he'd definitely get scolded by Pottery. At that moment, Pew Hut found you, meow. A saving paw reached out and grabbed S. Sybil the 18th. Theo Nim. Pew Hut. S. Sybil the 18th, if you summon Lee Nim, I'll send you back to the 4th floor of the tower, meow. Really? Understood. Lei Nim, please descend here. Without a second of hesitation, Sybil the 18th immediately summoned Li. But then Li, the god of abundance, refuses to descend. So this was the source of the ominous feeling. Sensing the impending disaster, Li had already refused to descend. However, tell Lei Nim that if she refuses to descend, I'll strip her of her position as proxy guardian deity. Yes. Ahem, Park Sejun, what's the matter? Li had no choice but to descend due to Sejun's threat. Chapter 502. Don't ask, don't question, just trust in Park. The pouch of abundance that Lei Nim gave me broke. What? The pouch of abundance I gave you broke? How did you manage to break it? Its durability was pretty high, so it shouldn't have broken under normal circumstances. How could it? That pouch had so much divine power infused into it. Although Li was internally agitated, she kept her voice as calm as possible so as not to upset Sejun. Well, I put this inside and it broke. Swoosh. As Sejun took out the seed of great magic stream and relayed exactly what Theo had told him, Li responded. So you're saying that after putting the seed of magic stream into the pouch of abundance, it multiplied into 10 seeds, and then those merged into one, evolving into the seed of great magic stream. Yes. Is that even possible? Can that really happen? Li looked utterly incredulous. She knew better than anyone because she had made it herself. The pouch of abundance couldn't replicate a seed of great magic stream. Absolutely not. At best, it could duplicate a single seed of magic stream. That was its limit. This is impossible unless a miracle occurred. It was something that couldn't be explained unless a miracle had occurred, just as Li thought. And then, meow. This miracle was, of course, thanks to Theo, who caused miracles as casually as breathing when it came to matters related to Sejun. Lei Nim, that's why I need a new divine relic, one that's more expensive and better and can hold this seed. Pew Hut, that's right, meow. Lei Nim, you must offer a better divine relic to the great hybrid chairman Park, meow. Sejun, if you ask me to make the pouch of abundance again, I could make it 10 times over, but to create a divine relic that can replicate this seed, I'd need to make at least a 5-star divine relic that's beyond my abilities. Li wore a troubled expression at Sejun's request. The number and grade of divine relics a god can create are determined by their divinity. Currently, Li's divinity stood at around 250,000, which allowed her to create up to 3 divine relics with a limit of 2 stars in grade. For reference, the 3 divine relics Li had made, the golden box of abundance, the golden tree stump pot of abundance, and the pouch of abundance, were all in Sejun's possession. Now that the pouch of abundance was broken, Li's divine relics had decreased to 2. She could create 1 new divine relic, but the problem was the grade. With Li's current divinity, she couldn't create a 5-star divine relic. In that moment, Sejun became acutely aware of just how absurdly capable Blackie family had been when they gave him a minimum 3-star item, even after losing all their strength. However, 5-star grade, isn't that something our Karurer can make too? Sejun, who was completely unaware of this, responded. A god can't even do that. Even the sunfish fish can make those. Sejun looked slightly disappointed as he glanced at Li. I can't let Trustin Park be disappointed. I'll uphold the pride of non-combat gods. Li decided to rise to the challenge and meet Sejun's expectations, even if it meant permanently reducing her divinity. Ahem, but who am I? I am none other than Li, the god of abundance who makes the impossible possible. There is nothing impossible for me. Trustin Park is always right. Li mentally chanted this slogan. Oh, as expected of Lei Nim fighting. As Sejun cheered for Lei Nim fighting, meow. Theo followed Sejun's lead, raising his front paw to the sky as he cheered for Li. However, there are 2 conditions. Conditions? Do you want me to assign some followers to your achievement monument? Sejun naturally assumed she was going to bring up something related to a temple. But instead, the first is that I need your divine power stored in Enos. With my divine power alone, I cannot create a 5-star divine relic. Lee brought up a different topic altogether. If a god with divine rank was a blacksmith, divine power was like unrefined ore. To make high-quality relics, a lot of ore was needed. What's the second condition? While making this relic, my divinity will decrease, and the other divine relics will likely disappear. However, you must not be disappointed. The second condition seemed a bit ambiguous. The new divine relic can replicate other seeds too, right? Sejun asked to confirm. Of course it's possible. Got it, but wait, I have divine power. Sejun, who hadn't reached the minimum level of divinity required to use divine power, hadn't been receiving any from Enos. The divine power had been accumulating there instead. Yes, didn't you know? Quite a lot of divine power has accumulated in Enos. And Theo also steals from our temple every day. Really? Then how much divine power will it take to create this relic? There's about 900,000 divine power stored in Enos, and I'll need around 700,000 of that to create a proper relic. Normally, it wouldn't take this much, but because she was forcibly raising the relic's grade, the amount of divine power consumed was almost doubled. Then please use my divine power to create the relic, and if there's any left, you can keep it. Sejun knew from Lee's determined expression that she was taking a big risk, so he decided to let her keep any remaining divine power after making the relic. After all, he had no immediate use for divine power. As the conversation ended, "Oh yes, I get to save my divine power, as expected of Trustin Park. Then I shall begin crafting the relic." Lee, happy to have saved divine power, joyfully drew out Sejun's accumulated divine power stored in Enos and started crafting the new relic. Whoong! White lights gathered and formed a lump. Swish! Under Lee's touch, the shape took form. The shape was similar to the broken pouch of abundance. As the divine relic was almost complete, burning 50,000 divinity to increase the relic's grade. The relic's grade has increased from 3-star to 4-star. Burning 100,000 divinity to increase the relic's grade. The relic's grade has increased from 4-star to 5-star. Lee burned her divinity to forge the relic into a 5-star divine relic. 1 hour later. Huff huff, it's done. With a voice full of exhaustion, Lee, having poured all her energy and divinity into crafting the relic, handed over a green leather pouch to Sejun. Thank you, Leenum. As Sejun received the relic Lee offered him. Then I shall take my leave now. Park Sejun, take care. Lee's presence faded as her descent came to an end. Seed Shop headquarters. Sigh. As soon as Lee returned, she let out a deep sigh. Now that my divinity has dropped, I won't be able to throw my weight around much at the Seed Shop headquarters. Lee didn't particularly like acting bossy, except when shouting Trustin Park. What if the others start disrespecting me because my divinity has decreased? Of course, other non-combat gods followed Lee not because of her abilities, but because they trusted her as a mental and emotional pillar. There was no chance they would belittle her just because her divinity had dropped. While Lee's self-esteem took a hit along with her divinity, and she was unnecessarily worrying about trivial things, you have achieved the great feat of creation by burning your divinity to craft a divine relic 2 grades higher than your own capacity. As a reward for this great feat of creation, you have earned the title, God Who Burns Divinity. As a result of title, God Who Burns Divinity, the amount of divinity required when creating divine relics is reduced by 10%. As a reward for your great feat of creation, your divinity has increased by 300,000. A message appeared before Lee. She had burned 150,000 divinity, but gained 300,000. As expected of Trustin Park, you had it all planned out. Park Sejun must have known this would happen, that I would end up like this. Lee started to believe that Sejun asking her to create a five-star divine relic was all part of some grand plan. Of course, it was just Lee's misunderstanding. You have achieved the feat of crafting a five-star divine relic. As a reward for this achievement, you have earned the title, God who created a five-star relic. The divine power consumed when crafting relics of 5 stars or lower is reduced by 10%. As a reward for this achievement, your divinity has increased by 100,000. Another set of messages appeared before Lee. This was all part of Trustin Park's big plan. Thanks to this, Lee's misunderstanding only deepened. Don't ask, don't question, just trust in Park. Trust in Park, trust in Park, trust in Park. Lee went out of the house, enthusiastically spreading her newly created slogan to the non-combat gods. 79th floor of the Black Tower, pouch of abundance crafted with utmost sincerity. Oh, I like the name already. Sejun checked the options of the divine relic Lee had crafted. Pouch of abundance, crafted with utmost sincerity. This is a divine relic imbued with the power of Lee, the god of abundance. Lee, the god of abundance, burned her divinity to raise its grade by 2 levels, creating it with utmost sincerity as a gift for Park Sejun, the tower farmer of the Black Tower. The pouch contains 3 separate pockets inside, allowing you to duplicate 3 different seeds simultaneously. Place a seed inside and wait for a day, and the seed will multiply into 100. The duplication quantity and time may vary depending on the seed. Usage restriction. Park Sejun, the tower farmer of the Black Tower, acknowledged by Lee, the god of abundance. Creator Lee, the god of abundance. Grade. Oh, there are 3 pockets inside. When Sejun opened the green pouch, he saw 3 openings branching out from the center at 120-degree angles. Tug, tug, tug. Sejun placed 3 seeds into the 3 pockets: a magical cherry tomato seed, a transcendence black bean, and a seed of great magic stream. Swish, time until 100 magical cherry tomato seeds are duplicated. 1 day. Time until 15 transcendence black beans plus 2 are duplicated. 1 day. Time until 1 seed of great magic stream is duplicated. 7 days. Letters appeared on the side of the pouch. Hehe, as expected, a 5-star relic is really on a different level. While Sejun was marveling at the pouch of abundance, crafted with utmost sincerity. Growl. Growl. Both Sejun's and Theo's stomachs growled at the same time. Huh, why am I so hungry all of a sudden? Chairman Park, I feel strangely hungry too, meow. Both Sejun and Theo had already eaten lunch, and it had only been about 3 hours since they came down. It was around 4 p.m. It wasn't time to be hungry yet. At that moment, Sejun Nim, have you come to your senses now? Sparky asked Sejun. Huh, what do you mean, come to my senses? You two have been standing here for 7 days straight. I've been standing here for a whole week. Meow, me too, meow. Sejun and Theo were completely bewildered. In fact, Lee's relic creation hadn't taken just 1 hour but 7 days. However, Sejun and Theo, completely engrossed in watching her craft the relic, hadn't noticed the passage of time. That can't be. Growl. But first, let's eat. Clink. Sejun hurriedly opened the void storage to take out something to eat. Kilahit Kaying. Hee, eating and sleeping every day is the best. Inside, the Blackie family, now plump like pigs, were rolling around on the floor, which had become a complete mess. During the week Sejun was gone, they had been partying in the void storage, eating and playing to their heart's content. These little rascals. Too exhausted to scold them, Sejun and Theo quickly ate some jerky and churu to fill their stomachs. 99th floor of the Black Tower. Kyung. Dad hasn't come home for a whole week. Kyungi is going to look for him. Dad and Big Brother must be in danger. Kyungi will go rescue them. Having stayed awake for 7 days straight waiting for Sejun to return, Kyungi slung his lunch bag over his shoulder and set off to find Sejun. Chapter 503. Was I on the Demon King route? Now I finally feel alive. Pew Pew Hut, that's right, meow, now I'm full, meow. Sejun and Theo, who had hastily filled their bellies, laughed as they patted their stomachs. I wonder if the guys are cleaning up properly. Clang! Sejun lightly opened the door to the void storage and peeked inside. Kilahit Kang. He Blackie is coming, call. Pipayak. The fat Blackie was riding a sled made of rags pulled by Karurur and Shari, playing around. K. Kurug. Jigomi was covering trash with spider webs. And then, Sharalang. K. Kabai was rotting things that had fallen on the floor. That would only make it smell. The more they cleaned, the messier the floor became. Is this really cleaning? If we just stay still, Sejun Nim might scold us less, right? Eamdal and Jackie, feeling that things weren't right, had decided to just sit quietly, thinking it would at least lessen Sejun's anger. Hey! As Eamdal and Jackie had expected, the moment Sejun walked in, he screamed in frustration. From here to here is Blackie's area, and over there is Karurur's. He assigned each one their cleaning areas and made them start cleaning again. Then, Kaying. My body feels heavy. Kaying. Blackie, absorbing all the nutrients he had eaten into his core, suddenly managed to lose weight and began cleaning properly. A little while later, Kilahit Kaying. He butler, I'm all done. Blackie called Sejun over to check his work. However, is this what you call done? Who told you to hide trash in the corners? Do it again. Kaying. How did he know? Even though Blackie's body had gotten lighter, it didn't mean he was any better at cleaning. In the middle, other guys came to get inspected too, but do it again. They all got rejected. Since none of them had ever cleaned before, especially as former apostles of destruction, it was only natural. While the Blackie family was busy cleaning the void storage. Sejun Nim, then I'll be heading down. Please put in a good word for me with Pottery Nim. Sure. As Sybil the 18th, who had passed out due to the aftereffects of summoning Li, the god of abundance, and had just come to his senses, descended to the 4th floor of the tower. And Sparky Pottery might have a bit of an authority complex, but he's not a bad guy. Try to get along with him, okay? But if he crosses the line, tell me. I'll put him in his place. Yes, Sejun Nim, thank you. Sejun asked Sparky to get along with Pottery. Whether his words would get through was another matter. 3 hours later. Paz. K. Kurug. G. Gomi, using her spider web to pick up trash, cleaned the floor perfectly and became the first among the Blackie family to pass Sejun's inspection. K. Kurug. Feeling proud of herself after receiving Sejun's approval. Shoop. G. Gomi generously shared her spider web with the others who asked for help. Shurug. Then she shot her spider web into Sejun's sling bag and slipped inside. And soon, the others also used G. Gomi's web to finish cleaning quickly. Now let's head home. Kirorong. Iamrarong. Sejun put the exhausted Blackie family, who had fallen asleep after finishing cleaning, into his sling bag and moved to the waypoint. But I feel like I forgot something. While forgetting something very important. Whoosh! Kyungi flew quickly, using telekinesis to go to the 79th floor of the tower. Hey, pay up! Kyung! Whenever a robber appeared, he subdued them. Boom! Even when pieces of Jormungandr tried to devour him. Kyung! He simply broke through. Clink! He didn't bother picking up any coins. He had to get to Sejun and Theo as soon as possible. When Kyungi finally reached the 79th floor where Sejun was. Kyungi, don't go. Big brother hates you. If you go, he'll only hate you more. A vile whisper echoed in Kyungi's ears, dripping with malice aimed at ensuring the listener's misery. But, Kyung. Big brother hates Kyungi. Kyungi loves Big brother, so why? Until now, Kyungi, who had grown up surrounded by kindness and love, did not doubt the malicious whispers at all. Stole Big Brother's churu, didn't you? Ku Kyung Kyung. That time, Kyungi didn't know that Kyungi wasn't supposed to eat Big Brother's churu. So now Kyungi don't eat it anymore. It's too late, Big Brother already hates you. At some point, the whispers were filled with ominous magic power, but Kyung, that can't be. Shocked, Kyungi failed to notice the approach of the ominous magic power. Maybe Dad hates you too, Kyungi. You eat way too much. Dad likes Kyungi. That was a fact Kyungi had never doubted. But now, hearing words that denied that truth, Kyungi couldn't respond properly and got angry. Does Dad really hate Kyungi? Doubt started creeping in, filling Kyungi with fear. Kyung. No, Dad likes Kyungi. So to avoid being consumed by doubt, Kyungi yelled out in defiance. Hehe, then why hasn't he come looking for you in a week? Kyung. That's... The whisper struck Kyungi's weak spot. Almost there. It was the Black Soul, the demon king of despair. Black Soul was reading Kyungi's thoughts, dragging him deeper into despair. Abandoned you. Kuk, sink into despair and die, little bear. Black Soul delivered the final blow to Kyungi. Thud. Does Dad not love Kyungi? Does Mom not love Kyungi? Does Big Brother not love Kyungi? Suddenly, everything Kyungi had once taken for granted became doubtful. Cooing. Terrified, Kyungi burst into tears. Kuwu. From Kyungi, a dark crimson energy began to emanate. Is it time? Sensing Kyungi's despair as a signal of the destruction, the beast of apocalypse began to awaken. At that moment, who the hell is talking bullshit? Who abandoned who? Why would I ever abandon my Kyungi? Sejun, who usually avoided harsh words, appeared furious, his face flushed with anger. Kyungi, Dad is here, don't cry. Sejun hurriedly rushed to the crying Kyungi, scooping him up, and gently patted his back to calm him down. Then, cooing, does Dad loves Kyungi? Kyungi asked in a trembling voice, his eyes full of fear as he looked at Sejun. Of course I love you, I'm sorry I came late. Sejun hugged Kyungi tighter as he spoke. Cooing, even if Kyungi eats a lot, you still love Kyungi. Yes. Cooing, even if Kyungi does something bad, you still love Kyungi. Yes, because you're my son, but if you do something bad, I'll have to scold you. Kyung. Hehe, I understand. Kyungi will never do anything bad, then. Even after that, Kyungi kept asking for reassurance, as if he still couldn't fully calm down. Yes. Of course. Sejun answered each question warmly and sincerely. Now I can sleep a bit more. Meanwhile, the dark crimson energy that had been seeping from Kyungi's body completely disappeared, while Sejun was busy calming the startled Kyungi. Meow, why were you bothering my little brother, meow? I'll punish you, meow. Whack. Theo, in Sejun's place, was smacking the black stone that sealed the Black Soul, the demon king of despair, with his front paws. Guard Theo has defeated the sealed Black Soul, the demon king of despair. You have gained 3 billion experience points, which is 50% of the experience earned by Guard Theo. Trek. The black stone that sealed the Black Soul, the demon king of despair, shattered and roll. A blue orb rolled out from inside. Grab. Pew hut. I should give this to Great Hybrid Chairman Park, meow. Theo picked up the orb and ran towards Sejun. Kurorong. Exhausted from crying and laughing, Kyungi had fallen asleep in Sejun's arms. Kyuiha. Every now and then, a little laugh could be heard, suggesting Kyungi was having a good dream. Step. To avoid disturbing Kyungi, who was having a good dream, Sejun walked quietly and slowly toward the waypoint. Chairman Park, take this, meow. Theo said in a hushed voice as he handed over the blue orb to Sejun. What's this? I picked it up after punishing the guy who was bullying Kyungi, meow. Heart of Black Soul, the Demon King of Despair. That guy was a Demon King. Sejun, who hadn't paid attention because he was comforting Kyungi, had only now realized the identity of the enemy who made Kyungi cry. Crunch. Sejun didn't merge the heart, he crushed it. It wouldn't have been of much help anyway, and due to his potential, it wouldn't even raise his stats. I can't forgive you. More than anything, he didn't want to merge with the heart of someone who had hurt Kyungi's feelings. Then you have resisted the temptation of the Demon King's power and achieved the feat of destroying the heart of Black Soul, the Demon King of Despair. You have obtained the title, One Who Hates Demons. With the effect of the title, One Who Hates Demons, you gain resistance to all negative energies. With the effect of the title, One Who Hates Demons, all your stats increase by 50 every time you destroy a Demon King's heart. The talents of the Demon King you possessed, Bringer of Despair and Bringer of Nightmares, have transformed into one who overcomes despair and one who overcomes nightmares. A series of messages appeared. The Demon King's talent. Was I on the Demon King route? It was only then that Sejun realized he had been walking the path of a Demon King. Becoming a Demon King wasn't necessarily bad. It would just mean dealing with enemies more ruthlessly. However, a Demon King. He had already abolished slavery to improve the image of Sejun Company, but if the chairman became a Demon King, all that effort would be for nothing. The company's image would tank instantly. Phew, that was close. Relieved that he had protected Sejun Company's reputation, Sejun let out a sigh as he headed toward the waypoint. As expected, Chairman Park is amazing, meow. He's done something incredible, meow. Theo looked at Sejun with eyes full of admiration. On the 461st day since entering the tower, another day passed without any major incidents. The next morning. All right. I feel refreshed. Sejun opened his eyes as usual. Although he had gone 7 days without eating, sleeping, or even sitting down, he strangely felt no fatigue. Of course, this was to be expected. Sejun's body was now beyond the point where he could feel tired from that level of exertion anymore. Even though he didn't need to sleep, he still did so out of habit. Meow. Kaying. After picking up Theo and the Blackie family, Sejun used his skill. Maintain cleanliness. He cleaned himself and his companions with the skill. Then, step. He strolled through the farm. The poison-detoxifying Japanese pumpkin is grateful for the farmer's footsteps and lends its strength. The effect of great blessing of the crops, master, activates, increasing the potential of your agility stat from 5593 to 5603. To increase his potential. However, due to your job trait, you are borrowing 1% of the stats from the Green Tower's tower farmer Ophelia. Your potential stat is insufficient, so you cannot borrow the full 1%. Agility 56035603. The increased potential was quickly filled. When will I ever have some spare capacity? Sejun continued walking as he read the messages. Up to now, Sejun had raised his potential by 1,000, but there were still too many borrowed stats from other tower farmers. About 9,500. Most of them came from Ophelia and Ajax, and since they were dragons, even borrowing just 1% of their stats was overwhelming for Sejun. Until he raised all 9,500 of his potential stats, whatever Sejun ate would just return to nature. So whenever he had the time, Sejun diligently worked on raising his potential. While Sejun was focused on this, Patrick, the god of the earth, apologizes for his hasty actions last time. He says he has prepared another gift as a token of his apology. Patrick, who had been blocked along with Bev after trying to make Sejun eat the lava bloodstone, reached out to him again. A gift, Patrick, the god of the earth, bestows the blood of the silver giant. With the message, a glass bottle filled with a silvery liquid, resembling mercury, appeared in Sejun's hand. Blood of the silver giant. Blood extracted from the body of a silver giant. Upon consumption, Strength and stamina potential will increase by 20% each. Maximum potential increase is 700 for both stats. Upon consumption, the talent, Herculean strength, will awaken. After consuming once, any further consumption of blood of the silver giant will have no effect. Usage restriction, strength 3000 or higher. Expiration, none. Grade SS. The options were good, but it looked dangerous to drink just by looking at it. Is it really safe to drink this? Sejun asked in a suspicious tone. Patrick, the god of the earth, confidently says to trust him and drink it. Patrick replied with full confidence. However, why is there no answer? Sejun was waiting for a response from a different god. Bev, the god of courage, says that you can't just consume safe things all the time, urging you to show your courage. Bev, the danger detector, who had recently gained Sejun's trust, finally responded. Haha, so it's safe to drink. Having confirmed its safety, Sejun drank the blood of the silver giant. Chapter 504, Hut. Of course, Chiru is the best palate cleanser, meow. Urgh. What kind of taste is this? After drinking the silver giant's blood, Sejun's face scrunched up in disgust. He had already tasted the blood of the bronze giant before, so he expected it to taste bad, but such an awful taste. The silver giant's blood clung stickily to his tongue, giving off a mix of shampoo and metallic flavors. Meow. The great hybrid Chairman Park's face is becoming very ugly, meow. The face of Chairman Park is guarded by none other than Chairman Park's right-hand man, hybrid Vice Chairman Theo, meow, squish, squish. Upon noticing Sejun's grimacing face, Theo quickly administered his kneading, emergency treatment on Sejun's face. Chairman Park used this as a palate cleanser, meow, while handing Sejun something to cleanse his palate. Oh, thank you, Vice Chairman Theo. This guy Theo has amazing sense. Sejun gratefully took what Theo handed him and sucked it down in one go. And then, a fishy taste spread all throughout his mouth. Why the hell would you give me Chiru? Hut. Of course, Chiru is the best palate cleanser, meow. That's only for you, oomp. The mix of shampoo taste, metallic flavor, and now fishiness made the silver giant's blood, which he had barely managed to swallow, start coming back up. No. If I hadn't eaten it in the first place, it would have been fine, but now, having suffered all the pain, it'd be such a waste to throw it up. He wanted to grab a drink to wash it down, but there wasn't even time for that. Clasp. So Sejun tightly covered his mouth with both hands and gulp. Desperately swallowed it back down. Huff huff hew. As Sejun barely managed to keep himself from spitting out the silver giant's blood, he let out a deep sigh. Meow. Chairman Park's mouth smells like a weird mix of poop and something else, meow. Theo quickly put on a gas mask. The gas mask was a special item that Iona had made specifically for Theo to use when following Sejun to the bathroom. Apparently, it had been specially designed with a powerful deodorizing magic for Theo, making it exceptionally effective at eliminating bad odors. I'm jealous. I should get one made for me too, MMPH. It's coming up again. Damn it, how embarrassing, to be disgusted by my own breath. Sejun hurriedly opened the void storage and pulled out a cold cola. He chugged it down, forcing the silver giant's blood back down along with the cola. Then you have consumed the blood of the silver giant. Your strength and stamina potential increase by 700 each, the possible maximum increase. Talent, Herculean strength has awakened. Talent, Herculean strength has already awakened. TL, Chapter 286 after drinking blood of the bronze giant. Talent, Herculean strength has been enhanced to the talent, young giant's Herculean strength. Finally, the messages appeared. Due to your job trait, you borrow 1% of the stats of Ophelia, the tower farmer of the Green Tower. Due to your job trait, you borrow 1% of the stats of Ajax, the tower farmer of the White Tower. You do not have enough potential stats to borrow the full 1%. Strength 7939, 7939. Stamina 69 62 6962. Of course, the increased potential for strength and stamina quickly filled up. Burp, but why did my strength potential increase so much? Is it because of the young giant's Herculean strength? Sejun burped and checked his enhanced talent, young giant's Herculean strength. A talent that grants tremendous potential for strength, like that of a young giant. With each level up, strength increases by 30, and strength potential increases by 1%. Strength potential increases by 2,000. Hehe, it's gotten a lot better than before. The strength stat increase upon leveling up had risen from 10 to 30, and an additional effect had been added where strength potential increases by 1%. On top of that, the strength potential increase had gone from 500 to 2,000. That's why his strength potential had increased so much. With this, I can probably reach the 10th tower without needing the Transcendence Black Beans. Sejun was already able to use the power, strength to support 13 handfuls of sky, and if he used the Transcendence Black Beans along with it, he could reach the 10th tower. However, there was no reason to go. How dare you disrespect me? Of course, the biggest reason was because he was sulking. HMPH, still, with Patrick Nim looking after me like this, should I go? Honestly, the fact that the giant blood Patrick gave him was inedible or tasted horrible wasn't due to any malicious intent on Patrick's part. Well, maybe a little malicious. Remembering how Patrick had insisted he eat the lava bloodstone with his eyes tightly shut made Sejun feel reluctant to go again. But still, the gesture had some sincerity. Should I just stop by after breakfast and make a quick appearance? It was certainly his first visit, so there was a high possibility of getting an achievement. With that thought, Sejun decided to quickly eat breakfast and then head to the 10th tower for just a quick visit. Step. Sejun walked around the farm again, raising his potential. A little while later. Kyung. Good morning, Dad. Kyungi, who had just woken up, greeted Sejun with a deep bow and clung to his side. Then, sniff. Kyung. Dad, your mouth smells like a weird poop smell. Let's brush your teeth. Kyungi will help too. Before eating breakfast, Sejun brushed his teeth with Kyungi. Then, how is it, huh? Sniff. Kyung. It's okay now. Only after brushing 5 times did Sejun receive Kyungi's permission to stop brushing his teeth. What's going on here? I'm the dad, but something feels off. Feeling a bit strange, Sejun headed to the kitchen where he ate the food his companions prepared by Sejun number 1. After Sejun finished his breakfast, Kyung. Hehe, Dad, Kyungi made morning coffee. Kyungi, who had somehow finished his meal earlier, brought over a cup of coffee. Oh my son is such a good boy. Pad. As Sejun patted Kyungi's cute little bottom. Meow, Chairman Park. Hybrid Vice Chairman Theo also wants pats, meow. Slide. Kakilahit Kaying. Hee Butler, me too. Slide. Theo and Blackie's family also subtly pushed their butts out. All right. Sejun patted everyone's bottoms before finally sitting down to drink his coffee. Slurp. The coffee had cooled down quite a bit. Thanks to that, Sejun quickly finished his coffee. All right, summon the entrance to the 10th tower. Sejun summoned the door to leave his mark at the 10th tower, summoning the door leading to the 10th tower. Thud. With the message, a wooden door appeared in front of Sejun. Patrick, the god of earth, is delighted and says he knew you'd like his gift. Patrick, the god of earth, says he will give you a welcome gift when you arrive at the 10th tower and eagerly waits to see you there. At the same time, Patrick, who had been anxiously awaiting Sejun's arrival at the 10th tower, began preparing to welcome him. Hehe, even a welcome gift. Well then, I must go, of course. After responding, clink, Sejun inserted the key to the 10th tower into the wooden door's keyhole. And then, everyone stick close. Hut got it, meow. Kyung. Kaying. Sejun made sure his companions were in contact with him. Then the 11 divided powers combine into one, activating power. Strength to support 13 handfuls of sky for 13 seconds. Strength increases by 1,300%. As the power activated, Sejun's strength surpassed 100,000 in an instant. Good, I feel brimming with strength. Feeling the immense surge of power, Sejun turned the key. Clicking. The key turned effortlessly. Creak. As Sejun was about to open the door, the orb of death's energy warns you of imminent death. Ominous red letters appeared in front of Sejun. This time even Bev, the god of courage, couldn't sense the danger Sejun was in. That's because Bev couldn't see inside the 10th tower. Patrick Nim, what will happen if I open this door? Without opening the door, Sejun asked Patrick. Patrick, the god of earth, says that when you open the door and enter, the first floor of the 10th tower will appear, along with himself, Hamer, the god of farming, and silver dragon Stella. Stellanim. A dragon is waiting for me, and not just any dragon, but one far older than Aileen, like an ant. For dragons, age equates to strength. If it weren't for the orb of death's energy, I would have been dead. Thud. Sejun quickly closed the door. 10th tower, first floor. Park Sejun will be here soon. Hurry and get ready. At Patrick's command, Hamer and Stella stood awkwardly on either side of him, holding welcome signs for Sejun. On the signs, "We love you, Park Sejun. Welcome Park Sejun to the 10th tower." The messages were written with lots of hearts due to Patrick's strong insistence. And then, Patrick Nim, do we really have to go this far? That's right, it really doesn't seem right to do this much for a lowly human. Hamer and Stella, clearly displeased with the overly subservient attitude towards Sejun, began protesting to Patrick. But, Hush quickly raised the signs high. Patrick sternly reprimanded the two, making it clear he wouldn't tolerate any objections. You two don't understand. You don't know who Park Sejun really is. Though Park Sejun is just a tower farmer, he's someone who fought and defeated Delia, the demon of corruption and 8th seat apostle of destruction. You'll be surprised when you realize Park Sejun's true worth. Park Sejun, hurry and come. As Patrick eagerly awaited Sejun's arrival, Park Sejun, the tower farmer of the Black Tower, asks what's waiting for him if he opens the door. Sejun asked, "What's waiting for him?" "Well, if he opens the door, he'll find the first floor of the 10th tower. Hamer, Stella, and I will be waiting for him." Patrick explained casually, glancing around. The door leading to the 10th tower has closed. What? Park Sejun, why are you closing the door? Park Sejun, the tower farmer of the Black Tower, says he can't come because Stellanim is there, and he might die. Wait, what? Isn't he just lacking strength? It turns out, even Patrick didn't fully understand Sejun's true nature. Stella, go up to the 2nd floor. Really? So I don't have to hold this sign anymore? Yes, hand it over to Hamer. What? Patrick Nim, I also. You're staying, and hold a sign in each hand. Yes. After Stella went up to the 2nd floor of the tower, Park Sejun, you can come now. Stella is gone. Patrick called Sejun again, asking him to come. Clicking. Hello. Sejun cautiously peeked his head out as he finally arrived at the 10th tower. You have arrived at the 1st floor of the 10th tower. You have achieved the great feat of being the first tower farmer to enter the 10th tower. As a reward for the great achievement, your stay cost on the 0th floor of the Black Tower is reduced by 0.2%. Oh, an achievement as expected. As Sejun grinned at the messages. Park Sejun, welcome, I am Patrick, the god of earth. While I'm Hamer, the god of farming. Patrick, looking genuinely excited, greeted Sejun, while Hamer waved his heart-filled sign with little enthusiasm. Yes, I am Park Sejun, the tower farmer of the Black Tower. After Sejun introduced himself, his companions followed suit. Puhu Hut. I am the right hand of the great hybrid Chairman Park and the legendary merchant of the Black Tower, the deadly dragon-clawed golden hybrid cat Theo Park, meow. Theo quickly and accurately gave his long self-introduction without even taking a breath, and Kuehe Kuong Kuong. Haha, Kuongi is Dad's son Kuongi. Kuongi is good at digging up medicinal herbs. Kuongi ate meat for breakfast, and Dad said he loves Kuongi. Kuongi babbled on, saying whatever came to his mind. Pip pip, I'm hybrid golden bat peacepeas. Kaiser Nim gave me this. Now I'm a hybrid like Sejun Nim. Peacepeas proudly showed off his dragon claws. Kilahit kaying kaying. Hee, I am the great Blackie, kneel before me. Blackie also introduced himself from inside Sejun's sling bag, barking with as much dignity as he could muster. As Sejun's companions introduced themselves. Crunch. At the center of destruction, the black moon forcefully opened, as reinforcements began to gather once again. Chapter 505, Hee, let's go and get Melpheus. The center of destruction. Melpheus, why are you here? Where are Fenrir and Halfas? And who gave you the authority to command the calamities? As destruction's eerie, dark-red eyes filled with rage at the sight of Melpheus commanding the calamities. That's because Halfas hasn't returned yet, and Jormungandr is in the middle of resurrection, so I, as the next in line. Melpheus hurriedly responded, his body trembling with fear. What, you mean Halfas, who went to bring back Fenrir, hasn't returned? Destruction immediately began searching for the locations of Fenrir and Halfas. What is this? Why do I sense the souls of my apostles of destruction over there? From the 10th tower that stood tall beneath destruction, he could sense not only Fenrir and Halfas but also Shasha, Kruger, Delia, Alice, and Violet, a total of 7 souls. On top of that, why are they untainted? The souls of the apostles of destruction, which should have been corrupted by destruction's power, were clean to the point of being almost pure white. Eek, you traitorous bastards, are you betraying me? Destruction, now aware of the betrayal by the Blackie family, was filled with fury. His gaze turned towards the 10th tower. Rumble! A part of the red mist that had been spread around began moving toward the 10th tower. Then an even denser red mist flowed out from the black moon, taking form. A massive, muscular monster that could rival the apostles of destruction before the seals are broken, purely in physical power. Ogre! The 6th calamity was revealed. Melpheus, go with the ogres and execute those traitors. Yes, let's go. Following destruction's command, Melpheus headed toward the 10th tower, taking 100 ogres with him. Fenrir, to think that you would betray me. Destruction glared at the 10th tower while pulling his hand out of the forcibly opened black moon, but suddenly, Melpheus. He realized that, in his anger, he had entrusted 100 ogres to Melpheus, who had terrible commanding abilities. However, when he tried to call him back, it was already too late, as the black moon had already closed. Caw. Peepayak. While the group was introducing themselves to Patrick and Hamer, the 10th tower begins activation. The barrier of the 10th tower is being deactivated. The first floor of the 10th tower has been activated, absorbing the energy of destruction. The second floor of the 10th tower has been activated. The absorption power for energy of destruction increases by 100%. A message appeared in front of Sejun. Wu Wang. At the same time, golden patterns appeared both inside and outside the 10th tower and resonated. Oh, finally! It's activating! Patrick and Hamer looked at the scene of the 10th tower coming to life with expressions of deep emotion. A little while later, SRRRK, as a faint golden aura began to settle on the ground. Park Sejun, now you can plant the crops. Yes, go ahead and plant them. Patrick and Hamer urged Sejun to plant the crops. Crops. At their words, Sejun took out some stamina corn seeds from his pouch and planted them. Then you have planted stamina corn seeds in soil imbued with refined energy of destruction and magic power. Your job experience has slightly increased. Your proficiency in magic seed sowing master has slightly increased. A series of messages appeared. Refined energy of destruction. Is this energy unique to the 10th tower? Sejun was feeling a bit puzzled. But planting just one doesn't seem right. Sejun, who always created fields of at least 3,300 square meters, began planting more corn seeds. As Sejun diligently planted the corn seeds are absorbing refined energy of destruction and emitting a very faint amount of energy of creation. Along with the message, a faint blue mist, barely visible even if one looked closely, rose from the spots where Sejun had planted the seeds, shimmering like a heat wave. Energy of creation. As Sejun stood bewildered, "Let me explain that. The 10th tower is..." Hamer, the god of farming, began explaining. The 10th tower had a different role from the other 9 towers that fought against the invading destruction and saved the survivors of the destroyed world. The 10th tower was created by the arrangement of the creator god to purify the energy of destruction. When the 10th tower absorbs the energy of destruction spread around it, the tower's system would transform that energy into a form that crops could easily absorb. Then, when the tower farmer planted crops in the tower, the crops would absorb the energy and release energy of creation. This is complicated. This is actually the safest way. Although Hamer was passionately explaining the greatness of the 10th tower to Sejun, who had the destruction devourer, it all seemed quite cumbersome. Hamer, you'll be surprised later. Of course, Patrick, who had already seen Sejun's destruction devourer, was quietly laughing behind Hamer as he eagerly explained the 10th tower's system to Sejun. At that moment, Black Tower's tower farmer Park Sejun has achieved the great feat of creation by spreading energy of creation in the 10th tower. As a reward for the great feat of creation, the stay cost at the 0th floor of the Black Tower is reduced by 0.5%. An achievement message appeared. The reward had almost been halved due to Sejun's rising reputation. This was originally supposed to be a 1% reduction. While Sejun looked at the message, feeling a bit disappointed, an uncontrollable amount of energy of destruction is forcibly being introduced from outside the 10th tower. This is more than the tower's refining system can handle. Unrefined energy of destruction is flowing into the first floor of the 10th tower. What is going on? Messages appeared in front of the 2 gods. The red mist sent by destruction had arrived. Simultaneously, the red mist spread low over the outer perimeter of the first floor of the tower and began creeping toward Sejun's location. And then a quest has been triggered. Quest, quickly eliminate the energy of destruction trying to engulf the first floor of the 10th tower. Reward, authority to upgrade the 10th tower. A quest message appeared in front of Sejun. Authority to upgrade the 10th tower. Is that a good thing? Clank. Sejun tilted his head in confusion, but then opened his void storage wide. Guys, it's mealtime. He called out to his devourers. And then, Kiki, Kiki. The destruction devourers that had been inside the void storage excitedly rushed out, and the stored energy of creation inside the void storage also flowed out with them. Kilahit Kang. Hey, follow the boss. Kiki, Kiki. Blackie rode atop the destruction devourers, leading them as they began hunting the energy of destruction. What's that? Hamer exclaimed in shock as he saw the destruction devourers. Chomp chomp. The energy of destruction was devoured by the destruction devourers in an instant, disappearing without a trace. Kiki, Kiki. Like baby birds waiting for their mother to bring them food, the destruction devourers put their mouths on the 4 outlets in the north, south, east, and west, where the energy of destruction was coming out, waiting for when it would emerge. Chomp chomp. They devoured the energy as soon as it came out, devouring it, have perfectly removed the energy of destruction that had spread on the first floor of the 10th tower. The quest has been completed. As a reward for completing the quest, You have gained the authority to upgrade the 10th tower. Thanks to them, the quest was quickly completed. And then, displaying the available upgrade options for the 10th tower. Currently possessed energy of creation, 37,000 L. Install a lighthouse of creation that burns destruction, 1 million L energy of creation. Tower's durability, plus 100 million, 10,000 L energy of creation. Tower's automatic repair speed plus 10%, 5,000 L energy of creation. Refining system, processing capacity plus 10%, 500 L energy of creation. Absorption power plus 10%, 100 L energy of creation. The 10th tower's upgrade window appeared in Sejun's view. Let's start by increasing the suction power, absorption power upgrade. Since it was the cheapest and the destruction devourers looked unsatisfied, Sejun first increased the absorption power to boost the intake of energy of destruction, consuming 100 L of energy of creation to increase absorption power by 10%. Absorption power upgrade, consuming 100 L of energy of creation to increase absorption power by 10%. Upgrade. Sejun kept increasing the absorption power, consuming 100 L of energy of creation to increase absorption power by 10%. Consuming 100 L of energy of creation to increase absorption power by 10%. Absorption rate has doubled from the initial amount. The required energy of creation to increase absorption power by 10% has increased to 200 L. Though the cost went up midway, it was still the cheapest upgrade compared to the others. Upgrade. Sejun continued to increase only the absorption power. Chomp. Thanks to that, the destruction devourers were thrilled. Kilahit Kang. Hee, eat up. All this is thanks to your great leader Blackie, who has such an excellent butler. Blackie boasted loudly, puffing out his chest. A little while later, absorption rate has increased to 5 times its original amount. The required energy of creation to increase absorption power by 10% has increased to 500 L. Boorp. The destruction devourers began digesting the energy of destruction, spitting out energy of creation in return currently possessed energy of creation, 42,000 L. The energy of creation Sejun had been using was now replenished, and it had even increased beyond what it was initially. A virtuous cycle where the more energy of creation was used, the more it increased. On top of that, spit. The destruction devourers started spitting out seeds to the destruction pioneers, rapidly multiplying the mouths available to consume the energy of destruction. It's tiring to keep saying it. Just increase absorption power until the energy of creation runs out. 700 L of energy of creation to increase absorption power by 10%. So, Sejun dumped all the energy of creation into increasing absorption power. Should we have a contest to see who can plant more? Kaya. He started competing with the destruction pioneers as they planted the destruction devourer seeds. What is he doing? How is he purifying the energy of destruction so easily? Hamer, the god of farming, stared at Sejun with a shocked expression. I'm glad I brought him here so soon. Meanwhile, Patrick looked at Sejun with a very satisfied expression, his gaze warm and approving. Outside the 10th tower. There it is, attack. Roar. At Melpheus's command, the ogres charged toward the 10th tower. The ogres, without any particular strategy, recklessly rushed toward the tower. At that moment, whoosh! Suddenly, the absorption power of the 10th tower began to increase. Of course, it wasn't enough for Melpheus or the ogres to notice at first. However, whoosh! The absorption power continued to grow stronger. Ruar! By the time the ogres reached the 10th tower, the absorption force had become so intense that the ogres were stuck to the tower, unable to move. Ruar! The ogres struggled with all their might to break free from the tower, but with every attempt, The energy of destruction they emitted was absorbed by the 10th tower, and the more energy the ogres lost, the more exhausted they became. "You fools, what are you doing?" Seal release. Unable to watch any longer, Melfius released his seal and approached the tower. Boom! He ripped open the tower's wall and entered the first floor. Eek, what is this disgusting feeling? The first thing that greeted Melfius was the thick presence of energy of creation. While Melfius was overwhelmed by the opposing energy of creation, you have encountered an apostle of destruction. Title Skilled Hunter of Destruction has been activated. Weakens the abilities of apostles of destruction within 200 m by 25%. An apostle of destruction. Guys, come here, hurry up and eat this. Seeing the massive demon that had burst through the wall, Sejun quickly handed out the beans set to his companions and Kyungi, get ready. Kyung. Got it. Thump. Sejun, Theo, Peacepeace, and the Blackie family made contact with Kyungi's body. Then the 11 divided powers combine into one, activating power. Strength to support 13 handfuls of sky for 13 seconds. Strength increases by 1300%. As the power activated, Kyungi's strength was boosted 13-fold. Kyuyang. On top of that, when Kyungi released the calm state of power, calm before the storm. Guwo. The extremely compressed energy within Kyungi exploded outward, unleashing a tremendous amount of force. Bunker. In the meantime, Sejun hurriedly led the Blackie family into the bunker to avoid Kyungi's explosive energy. TL. If you forgot, Sejun got bunker skill in chapter 487. Thanks to upgrading the bunker skill to level 7, it now had an option where for 5 seconds after creation, its defense would double, allowing it to withstand Kyungi's energy for a short time. And then Bev, the god of courage, is overjoyed, asking if you deliberately went to meet the apostle of destruction for their sake. No, I didn't. Bev, the god of courage, acknowledges you as a courageous warrior who never disappoints. You have gained 1 achievement of courage. Bev, the god of courage, offers to grant 10 achievements of courage if you fight the apostle of destruction one-on-one. Block. Blocking Bev's noisy messages, Sejun prepared for the second round after Kyungi's attack. However, Dad Kyungi knocked him out. There was no second round. Killahit Kang. Hee, let's go and get Melfius. Blackie, who had just emerged from the bunker, quickly ran toward the unconscious Melfius. Thunk. And head-butted him. Chapter 506. I am a tower farmer. Inside Melfius, mental world. Where is this? This is my mental world. Melfius looked around and spoke. Does that mean I passed out from the attack of a mere bear cub? What was that creature? Melfius recalled the situation just before he fainted. At first, it was just enough to slightly interfere with his unsealing process, not such a terrifying attack. But then what was that? Just before the bear cub's club touched him, the color of the lightning emanating from the club changed from a golden hue to a menacing dark red, and after being hit by it, his memory went blank. No more letting my guard down. As Melfius hurriedly tried to leave the mental world and regain control of his body. Grrr. Thud, thud. A low growling sound, and the heavy footsteps of something approaching from the darkness reached him. This sound, could it be Fenrir, Nim? Thud, thud. The footsteps grew closer in response to his words. Soon, other footsteps followed as well. And it really is Fenrir Nim. A wolf with dark blue fur appeared before Melfius, emanating killing intent. I pay my respects to Fenrir Nim. At the sight of Blackie, Melfius trembled and hurriedly greeted him. Following behind Blackie, his subordinates also appeared, but Melfius' entire focus was on Blackie, who was directing killing intent at him. A fear imprinted in his very instincts. This alone showed how high Blackie's status was among the apostles of destruction. Of course, Sejun, who had witnessed Blackie's daily routine of eating roasted and dried sweet potatoes and sleeping soundly like a super sunfish, would find this hard to believe. "Melfius, you called me a dog before, didn't you?" "Huh, me, that can't be." As Melfius hastily denied Blackie's words. "Great Blackie Nim, I also heard Melfius clearly call you a dog." "That's right, and he even said he would absorb the core of Great Blackie Nim and become the third apostle of destruction." Eamdal and Shari, who had been present at the scene of the incident, each testified. "Fee Fenrir Nim, I was wrong, please forgive me. If I can't calm Fenrir Nim's anger here, I'll be obliterated." Melfius frantically begged for forgiveness from Blackie to save his life. "Bow your head." "Yes." At Blackie's command, Melfius immediately bowed his head. "Grrr, if you fall you're finished." Thud. "Why yes." Blackie placed his front paw on Melfius' bowed body and said, "Listen well, I'll teach you the rules of the great Blackie family. Rule 1, you must always obey the butler." He began to share the life-saving information he had discovered to live peacefully on the 99th floor of the tower. 10th tower, 1st floor. "Kyungi, well done." "Kyuiha." Sejun patted Kyungi's head, praising him for knocking Melfius unconscious. But how did he do it? No matter how strong Kyungi was, it wasn't enough to knock out an apostle of destruction. Did he attack while Melfius was releasing the seal? It was true that transformations tend to leave one vulnerable. Sejun didn't think much more about it. "Keikirorong. Iamrarong. Looks like Blackie's busy with the exorcism." Sejun lifted Blackie family, who were peacefully sleeping next to the unconscious Melfius, and put them into his sling bag, consuming 5,000 L of the energy of creation to increase the tower's automatic repair speed by 10%. Consuming 5,000 L of the energy of creation to increase the tower's automatic repair speed by 10%. Sejun started increasing the tower's repair speed. Although Patrick and Hamer, the administrator and sub-administrator of the 10th tower, were diligently repairing the tower, it was too slow. The tower's automatic repair speed has doubled from the initial speed. The required energy of creation to increase automatic repair speed by 10% has increased to 10,000 L. The cost of increasing the repair speed went up midway, but thanks to the energy of destruction Melfius was emitting, Sejun didn't have to worry about running out of the energy of creation. As Sejun continued to increase the repair speed, the massive hole in the outer wall of the 1st floor of the tower, created by Melfius, quickly started to close. "Park Sejun, thanks to you, the repairs were completed quickly." "Park Sejun, thank you." The two gods, who had finished repairing the tower, expressed their gratitude to Sejun. At that moment, "Pew Hu Hut, you can't just thank him with words, meow. Give us a reward, meow." Theo, who was clinging to Sejun's knee, demanded a reward on his behalf. "I'd like to create a divine relic for you, but there's already one made. Instead, I'll tell you the location of my divine relic." "I'll tell you the location of my divine relic too." Thanks to this, Sejun learned that Patrick's divine relic, Earth Armor, was on the 90th floor of the Golden Tower, and Hamer's divine relic, Farming Bible, was on the 77th floor of the Brown Tower. "Don't you have any enhancing elixirs?" "No, it takes a lot of time to make that. I can only make 1 drop per month." "So I can get 1 in a month?" When Sejun asked with an expectant voice. "No, that's only if I keep making enhancing elixirs." Hamer was about to say it was too difficult. "However, it's possible." Hamer, from now on, you will make only enhancing elixir. "But I also need some rest." "Then, during your rest, you can complete the remaining punishment with soul-pressing stones." No, I'll work hard to make enhancing elixirs from now on. 5 drops are enough, right?" 10 drops. "Yes." Thanks to Patrick stepping in, Sejun was promised 1 drop of enhancing elixir per month for the next 10 months. After finishing his conversation with the gods, consuming 10,000 L of the energy of creation to increase the tower's durability by 100 million. Sejun increased the tower's durability and waited for Blackie to wake up. 1 hour later, Kying, Blackie and his subordinates woke up, yawning and stretching simultaneously. Then, Kying, "Newbie," Blackie called out. "Mumu." "Yes, Newbie reporting." From the massive body of Melpheus, who had a pair of black horns and red wings, a tiny ladybug with small horns the size of a pinky nail flew up. Plub! It softly landed on Blackie's nose. "Keikachu Kaying Kaying." "Achoo, you idiot, don't sit on my nose, it tickles." "Mumu." "Sorry." Naturally, Blackie scolded it. After giving Melpheus a good scolding. "Keikilahit Kaying." "Hey, butler, I exorcised this guy." Blackie proudly introduced Melpheus to Sejun. "Mumu Mumu." "Hello, Sejun Nim. I'm the new recruit of the great Blackie family." Having been thoroughly disciplined in the mental world, Melpheus greeted Sejun politely. "Yes, hello." As Sejun was exchanging greetings with Melpheus, "You have defeated the 6th calamity, Ogre. You have gained 500 billion experience points. The tower's administrator takes 50% of the gain experience, which is 250 billion. The tower's sub-administrator takes 40% of the gain experience, which is 200 billion. You have leveled up. You have received 1 bonus stat. Your strength increases by 30. Your strength potential increases by 1%. Messages began appearing before Sejun's eyes. Due to the powerful suction force of the 10th tower, the ogres, who couldn't even move and had their energy of destruction drained, disappeared, leaving behind their experience points. Thanks to this, Sejun easily leveled up twice, but his expression wasn't exactly happy. "What is this? Why do both of you get the experience points when I defeated the monster?" Sejun glared at Patrick and Hamer as if they were thieves. This is something decided by the system. It's not because of any personal greed on our part." "Yeah, the system decided it." The two gods averted Sejun's gaze as they answered. "You damn system. System bad, meow." Thus, once again, Sejun and Theo were angry at the system today. The system keeps taking Dad's stuff away. No, now even Kyungi was angry at the system. At that moment, the energy of creation created in the 10th tower has reached 4 million liters. The 3rd floor of the 10th tower is now open. The refining system's processing capacity for refining the energy of destruction increases by 100%. With these messages, the 3rd floor of the 10th tower opened. "Stella, go up to the 3rd floor." Thanks to this, Sejun had a chance to explore the 2nd floor. The method of ascending the tower was the same as other towers. The only difference was activate. The waypoint would only appear if it was activated by the administrator or sub-administrator. Tab. Sejun placed his hand on the white crystal, different from those in the other 9 towers. "You have cleared the 1st floor of the 10th tower. As a reward for clearing the 1st floor, you have received 100 million tower coins and 100 billion experience points. As a reward for clearing the 1st floor, all your stats increase by 50. The waypoint of the 1st floor has been saved. Moving to the 2nd floor." Along with the 1st floor clear rewards, Sejun was transported to the 2nd floor of the tower. "You have arrived on the 2nd floor of the 10th tower." "Oh, rewards. It's the first reward I've received floor clear rewards." Upon arriving on the 2nd floor, Sejun cheered. It was the first time he had ever received a floor clear reward since entering the tower. "Haha, this place gives rewards. From now on, I'll place the bodies of the apostles of destruction here and plant destruction devourers here, and generate lots of energy of creation to open up all the floors to collect rewards." Sejun decided to collect all the rewards of the 10th tower. Other than being bigger than the 1st floor, there's nothing different, huh? Only then did he look around the 2nd floor. The second floor was 4 times larger than the first floor. This was because more crops needed to be planted to purify more energy of destruction. It will probably take a few days to plant everything. As Sejun calculated the manpower needed for the large plot of land. Pew hut, Hamer Nim, I heard you like popcorn, meow. If you plant these, you'll have plenty of popcorn to eat, meow. Theo handed Hamer a handful of exploding stamina corn seeds. HMPH, so that's your plan to make me plant these, but it's useless because I'm not a tower farmer. I'll just take these and make some popcorn. Hamer smirked, seeing through Theo's obvious ploy, and accepted the seeds. However, Pew hut, oops, my hand slipped, meow. Plop. With a mischievous smile, Theo deliberately dropped the seeds the moment they touched Hamer's hand, and rattle, as some seeds that touched Hamer's hand fell to the ground. Kyungi, as if waiting for this moment, used telekinesis to move the soil and cover the seeds. And then, Kilahit Kaying. Guys, spit it out. 2. As expected, Blackie family, who had been holding water in their mouths, spat it out, watering the seeds. They didn't even wait for Hamer to plant them. They planted them directly themselves. Why, what? Hamer was momentarily bewildered by how quickly everything had happened. It doesn't matter. I'm not a tower farmer, so this won't work. As Hamer looked at Theo with eyes that said, "What an amusing fellow," a message appeared. It has been confirmed that Hamer, the god of farming and tower farmer of the 10th tower, planted exploding stamina corn without permission. According to the laws of the tower farmer of the Black Tower, Park Sejun, will now command Hamer, the god of farming, the tower farmer of the 10th tower, for 100 years. What? A message popped up in Sejun's vision, indicating that he would command Hamer for 100 years. Hamer, besides being the sub-administrator of the 10th tower, was also its tower farmer. I am a tower farmer. Though it seemed like Hamer himself hadn't known this. Kyung. Hehe, as expected of Big Brother. Kilahit Kaying. You should at least be able to do this much to become the great Blackie's older brother. Kyungi and Blackie looked at Theo with admiration for coming up with the plan. Pew hut, I knew everything would work out, meow. I hybrid Vice Chairman Theo, the right hand of the great hybrid Chairman Park, knew it all, meow. Theo, laughing like a villain, basked in the admiration his younger siblings were showing him. On the 462nd day after entering the tower, in the late afternoon, thanks to the efforts of Theo, Kyungi, and Blackie family, Sejun came to command all the tower farmers. Chapter 507, All the swollen corn is for Sejun. You have achieved the great feat of commanding all tower farmers from other towers. As a reward for the great feat, you have obtained the title, Top Tower Farmer. With the effective title, Top Tower Farmer, once a month, you can borrow 10% of another tower farmer's stats for 10 minutes. With the effective title, Top Tower Farmer, you acquire 1% of the job experience and skill proficiency gained by other tower farmers. With the effective title, Top Tower Farmer, you can pass down your farming skills to other tower farmers. As a reward for the great feat, the cost of staying on the 0th floor of the Black Tower is reduced by 5%. Sejun had thought it strange that he didn't get a title even after commanding all the tower farmers from the other 8 towers, excluding himself. So this was the reason. There was also a tower farmer on the 10th tower. Looking at the message, Sejun now understood why he hadn't obtained the title when he had led Yudon. You have achieved the great feat of commanding Hamer, the god of farming. As a reward for the great feat, you have obtained the title, One Who Controls a God. With the effective title, One Who Controls a God, your divinity increases by 1 for every god you lead. As a reward for the great feat, the cost of staying on the 0th floor of the Black Tower is reduced by 0.3%. Next, by commanding Hamer, the god of farming, Sejun achieved another great feat and earned a new title. Now that his stay cost was reduced by 32%. Heh, if I reduce it by another 68%, it'll be a free pass. While Sejun imagined happily going to Earth for free, you have two titles similar to Title, one who controls a god. Title, one who glimpsed the beginning, combines Title, Godslayer Title, one who commands a god, and Title, one who controls a god into one single title. You have obtained Title, one who overwhelms gods. A new message appeared. Huh. Combining titles. Sejun quickly checked the combined title, one who overwhelms gods. For every god you lead, all your stats increase by 50, and your divinity increases by 2. Gods who face you become greatly intimidated. The effect of Title, Godslayer, which allowed you to absorb the power of a god you killed, has disappeared, but the effects of Title, one who controls a god, and Title, one who commands a god, have been enhanced. Well, it's not like he'd have many occasions to kill gods, so it didn't matter if that effect was gone. I couldn't kill them even if I wanted to. Sejun still didn't know how he had managed to kill a god. But what's this, one who glimpsed the beginning? It suddenly appeared and now combined the titles. Maybe something has changed. When Sejun checked the title, one who glimpsed the beginning title, one who glimpsed the beginning, can combine 3 similar titles into one. Only one line had been added. Will more explanations appear automatically when conditions are met? After checking the title, Sejun. Hamer, let's get along well from now on. He spoke to Hamer, who had fallen into despair, with a mischievous smile. Why, yes, sir. TL, Hamer isn't actually saying sir, but he's using a respectful way of speaking in Korean, which doesn't have a direct equivalent in English, so I'm adding sir to convey that respect. What's with Park Sejun's atmosphere? Hamer suddenly felt intimidated when facing Sejun, and ended up addressing him respectfully without realizing it. Hamer, by the way, do you not have any stats? Sejun asked, because there had been no message saying he could borrow Hamer's stats when he started commanding him. I had them, but not anymore, sir. I'm currently in a spiritual form, so I don't have a body. You don't have a body? Oh, you're right. When Sejun heard Hamer's words and touched him, his hand just passed through Hamer. Then does that mean Patrick too? Touchy. Contrary to Sejun's expectations, Patrick could be touched with his hand. Ha. Thanks to you, Park Sejun, for building me a temple, I was able to create a body with divine power. Of course, it's not perfect because I lack sufficient divine power. As soon as he returned, it seemed he needed to build a monument for Hamer's achievements. That way, Hamer could create a body using divine power, and Sejun would be able to borrow his stats. Having finished exploring the second floor, Sejun said, "You guys wait here." Upon returning to the first floor of the tower, Sejun was about to leave behind Melpheus's body, and half of the Destruction Pioneers and Destruction Devourers went. Kiki. Kaya. The Destruction Pioneers and Destruction Devourers went into a frenzy at the thought of being left behind. Kaying. Don't worry, your boss will definitely come back. Blackie tried to calm them down. At that moment, Mumu. Great Blackingham, should I stay here and command them? Melpheus, who had been waiting for a chance to command, stepped forward. However, Kaying, didn't I tell you to stop thinking about commanding? Pug. Mumu. I'm sorry. Blackie, already aware of how terrible Melpheus was at commanding, immediately stomped him with his front paw and began a stern mental education session. Then, well, I'll be going now. Murorong. In the meantime, Sejun picked up the sleeping Blackie and Melpheus into his sling bag and said, "Summon door." Kriug. He returned home. Luckily, the door back didn't require him to have 100,000 strength, as it could simply be pushed open. Thus, Sejun left the first floor of the 10th tower. I'm a tower farmer, under Park Sejun. Still unable to believe the reality, Hamer muttered to himself for a while before being dragged off by Patrick to start making the enhancing elixir. Black Tower Administrator's area. Hello, Mother. Aileen, have you been well? Of course, and how have you been, Mother? I'm doing well. Shall we get started? Today we'll be boiling corn. Yes. Recently, after finally mastered making soft-boiled fried eggs, Aileen had started learning new recipes from Kim Miran. Though she was still a novice at cooking, the fact that she could now control the heat to some extent was a significant improvement. A little later. Good job, Aileen. Yes. Aileen answered in a gloomy voice. She had steamed the corn, but instead of being chewy, all the kernels had swollen up and burst open. Cheer up, at least it's still edible. Sejun likes swollen corn, so it's fine. Really, I've never seen Sejun eat swollen corn before. Well, that's because Sejun doesn't know how to make swollen corn. So Aileen, you should make a lot for him. Okay, Hihai, I'll make a lot for him. At Kim Miran's words, the previously gloomy Aileen's face immediately lit up with joy. All the swollen corn is for Sejun. So Aileen carefully piled up the swollen corn neatly, leaving out the intact ones. I'm sorry, my son. Watching the pile of swollen corn reach 30 layers high, Kim Miran silently apologized to Sejun in her heart. After attending Kim Miran's cooking class and improving her cooking skills once again today, Aileen. Kihihi, I wonder how happy Sejun will be when he sees this later. She chuckled, imagining Sejun being happy to receive the swollen corn she gave him. I need to store this carefully. She placed the plate of corn into her void storage and said, I'll take care of these. Nom nom. She ate the intact corn deliciously. At that moment, Aileen were here. Aileen Pobiopa is here. Sylvia Unnai is here too. The hatchlings came to visit Aileen with their parent dragons. Swoosh swoosh. Sis and brothers, welcome. Aileen quickly wiped her mouth and greeted the hatchlings. Then, Aileen, you must have been bored without Sylvia Unnai. Now let's play together. What are you talking about? Aileen wants to play with me more. No way. Aileen wants to play with me, Sylvia Hisron, more. The 6 hatchlings clung to Aileen, each insisting that she should play with them, and a fight soon broke out. Big brothers and sisters, let's all play together. Once again, the 200-year-old youngest, Aileen, stepped in to mediate between the hatchlings. You just need to match the same cards. Aileen explained the rules of Go Stop that she had learned from Sejun to the hatchlings. The stakes are roasted and dried sweet potato slices. If you use magic, you'll lose a hand. At Aileen's words, a few hatchlings flinched and instinctively touched their wrists. Then let's begin. Shwag. Aileen started shuffling the cards. A little later. Sylvia, I've got a set. Stop. Each of you owes me 3 pieces of dried sweet potato. Sylvia, 3 go. Hocus Opa, you got a penalty, so it's double for you. Sylvia won again. The game was dominated by Sylvia. Aileen, I'll buy 100 pieces of dried sweet potato slices. Me too, this time I'll win. When the losers ran out of dried sweet potato slices, they went to their dragon parents to get more money and bought dried sweet potatoes from Aileen. Aileen only participated in the first few rounds and afterward focused on selling dried sweet potatoes. Aileen, give me 1 cup of golden samyangju, 10 bottles of grape wine and 10 dried squid. I'll take 10 bottles of samyangju and 3 watermelons. In between rounds, other dragons continuously came to buy goods, keeping Aileen busy. Somehow, without realizing it, Aileen was running her own little shop. Recently, in the Black Tower, buying food from Sejun had become a significant affair for the dragons. It wasn't just about the taste, but also about getting stronger. At first, when they ate Sejun's crops, the strength increase was so minuscule that they didn't think much of it aside from the flavor. But, like gathering specks of dust into a mountain, the effects accumulated over time and started to show. The dragons first noticed this change during a duel between the black dragon Gox and the golden dragon Rayon, who were of the same age. Though they called it a duel, it wasn't a physical fight. Instead, it was a peaceful dueling method passed down from ancient times where they pulled each other's bodies using pure magic power, and the one who got pulled first lost. The reason for the duel. Rayon had mocked Gox, who often ate Sejun's crops, saying, "What's so great about that lowly human's food that you eat so much of it? What? How dare you insult something made by our brother-in-law Park Sejun?" Angered by Rayon's words, Gox immediately challenged him to a duel, and Rayon accepted right away. Since exciting events like this were rare, maybe once every 1,000 years, many dragons gathered to watch the duel. And the result of the duel. Boom! Contrary to the dragon's expectations that the two, being of similar age, would be evenly matched for at least 10 minutes, the duel ended in just 10 seconds with Gox emerging as the victor. After the duel, curious dragons closely examined the magic power of both Gox and Rayon to figure out what caused the result. Gox has 5,000 more magic power than Rayon. They discovered that Gox had 5,000 more magic power than Rayon. While a difference of 5,000 magic power was small for dragons with over 1 million magic power, in a duel, it made a big difference. Even the slightest difference, like 0.001 grams, can tip the scales. And so, the fact that Sejun's crops helped with strength spread quickly among the dragons. To avoid falling behind other dragons, they started competitively eating Sejun's crops to enhance their strength. Thanks to this, the average abilities of the dragons steadily increased. If we buy this and give it to the hunters, it will help stop the destruction. Really? Then give me that too. Following Theo's example, Aileen sold sturdy blade green onions and detoxifying green onions to the dragons, significantly slowing the pace of the destruction's invasion. Of course, the biggest contributor to their success was the clumsy but surprisingly effective Melpheus. Additionally, Flamey had begun cultivating at least one world tree in each tower, and some towers had already achieved one or two of the growth conditions. The small snowball Sejun had started was growing larger and larger, having a positive impact on the dragons, the towers, and the world. "I'm so busy, I wonder if Sejun has arrived back." During a rare quiet moment when no dragons were around, Aileen checked her crystal orb to look for Sejun. Sylvia forgo. Meanwhile, next to her, Sylvia was sweeping up the other hatchlings, dried sweet potato slices. Chapter 508, Hee hee, Butler's nomming skills have returned. You have arrived at the 99th floor of the Black Tower. When Park Sejun exited the door connecting to the 10th tower, the outside was dark, and 12 starlights twinkled, warmly welcoming Sejun. At that moment, growl. Kyung. Kyungi's stomach rumbled loudly like a clock. Growl, growl. Right after, the sound came from the stomachs of Sejun, Theo, and the rest of the Blackie family. Having fought Melpheus, the apostle of destruction, Sejun and his companions had forgotten about their hunger. But now that they had returned home, their tension relaxed and hunger came rushing in. Come to think of it, we skipped both lunch and dinner. My Kyungi was hungry but held it in so well. Let's eat quickly. Kyuehe kyung kyung. Hehe, sounds good. Kyungi wants soy sauce butter egg rice. Puhu hut, Chairman Park, I want grilled fish, meow. Kikikilhit kaying. Hee hee, Butler, I want roasted and dried sweet potato. All right. As Sejun was being urged by his companions, he headed to the kitchen and Sejun number 1, make soy sauce butter egg rice. He instructed Sejun number 1 to prepare Kyungi's requested dish. And then, here, Blackie, share this with everyone here. Kikikilhit kaying. Hee hee, okay. Sejun handed Blackie 10 pieces of roasted and dried sweet potatoes and began grilling the fish for Theo. A little later, here you go, Vice Chairman Theo. Puhu hut. As expected, the grilled fish made with Chairman Park's care looks completely different, meow. It tastes amazing, meow. Theo started eating the grilled fish that Sejun had prepared with relish. Kyuehe kyung. Hehe, it's delicious. Kyungi also enjoyed his soy sauce butter egg rice, topped with 30 soft-boiled eggs. Let me try some too. When Sejun was about to scoop some soy sauce butter egg rice from Kyungi's bowl, the tower's administrator tells you not to eat that. The tower's administrator confidently says she has prepared a dish just for you. Aileen hurriedly spoke up. The dish. Sejun's voice trembled at Aileen's words. The tower's administrator says she has made plenty of swelled-up corn that you love. What are you talking about? Since when do I love swelled corn? Sejun asked with a puzzled expression. The tower's administrator, in a flustered voice, says that your mother clearly said you love swelled corn. Aileen was visibly flustered. And then, Mother, no matter how much you want to score points with Aileen, selling out your son like this. Sejun quickly grasped the situation. Oh, swelled corn. Sorry, I read it wrong as burning corn. Swelled corn. How much I've been craving that. Aileen, give it to me quickly. I feel like I might pass out. Sejun acted with all his might, pretending he was desperate to eat swelled corn. The tower's administrator realizes the misunderstanding and happily says it's all good. The tower's administrator tells you to enjoy the meal. Thud. With Aileen's words, a massive plate appeared, piled high like a pyramid with swelled corn. How many layers is this? A 130-story corn tower, with more floors than the Black Tower. Can I clear this? Sejun hesitated for a moment, but then resolved. I have to do it. I'm going to score some points with Aileen, too. Chomp chomp. He began eating the swelled corn. Compared to the burnt dishes from before, this was definitely edible. You have consumed the swelled stamina corn. The corn's effects have been reduced by 30% as it has swelled with water. Your strength increases by 14 for 30 minutes. After clearing 50 layers from the top, a crisis came, but Vitality. You have used Vitality LV 8. The food in your stomach is instantly digested. All stat values increase by 8% for 180 minutes. Your digestion speed increases significantly for 180 minutes. He emptied his stomach using the skill and started eating corn again. At that moment, Kikikillit Kaying. He Butler named this one. Blackie barked as he put down Melfius in front of Sejun, having carried him in his mouth. Melfius, who had been carried by Blackie, had no idea of the fate awaiting him, and was munching on the roasted sweet potato slices in delight. Mumu. What is this? Why is it so delicious? He devoured the roasted sweet potato slices hurriedly, spitting tiny flames barely visible at the tips of his horns from his excitement at the sweet taste. Right, I need to name the newbie. Let's see. Original name Melfius, Ladybug, 7 black spots on the back. Makes Mumu sound and spits fire when excited. Sejun listed out Melfius' characteristics. Kaying. Butler, he's also really bad at commanding. Blackie provided additional information to Sejun. On top of that, he's a bad commander. Then, as Sejun got into nomming mode, thump. The Blackie family looked at Sejun with eyes full of expectation. Especially, please let it be a silly name. The look in Karurur's eyes wasn't just expectant, it was desperate. With everyone's hopes in mind. Since his name is Melfius, Melatonin Melchis, TL, random names starting with Mel. Since he's a ladybug, how about Murisu Mumester Musoan? TL, ladybugs call Mudungbalaenus, call Muenus, Mu plus rest are random things. Since he's a fire-spitting ladybug, how about Boldang? TL, Kopuenus, Bul means fire plus Kodungenus, Dang from ladybug, call Mudungbalaenus. And he is a poor commander, Munub, no that's too harsh. TL, it's actually Munung but Munub sounded better so I translated it that way. Mu call Muenus comes from ladybug call Mudungbalaenus, and Nung call Nung Enus means incompetent. Sejun pondered hard, thinking of various names. But this is tough. He couldn't come up with a name he liked. At that moment, then the words started to form in his mind. A ladybug that makes moo sound. Bad commander, 7 spots on its back. As these 3 characteristics combined in Sejun's mind. Mubalchil, TL, mu muenus, from mumu mumuenus, plus bal kopaenus, comes from kopakan, which is a slang for bad players used online, meaning playing a game with your foot plus chill, kochienus, is number 7 in Korean. One name came to mind. This seems pretty good. Though it made his toes feel tingly, he still thought. Mubalchil. Saying it out loud, it sounded even better. And then, kikikilhit kaying. Hee, Butler's nomming skills have returned. It's the Sejun Nim from before. K. Kurug. Shallering. You've returned, sir. Ko. Pipiek. The Blackie family, who had been worried because no good names had come up since Karurur, cheered upon hearing Sejun's new name. Karurur. Karurur, who had suffered a lot due to his own name, burst into laughter at Mubalchil. A little later. Chomp. I've finished eating. Sejun, having digested the food while nomming, cleared the swelled corn tower and fell asleep. Sejun's coffee plantation in Chikasan, on the 94th floor of the tower. From now on, the highest grade coffee produced from Chikasan will be named Sejun 94 Chikasan Black Tower, and the next grade will be named Mazek 94 Chikasan Black Tower. Ninir, the legendary merchant in charge of managing the coffee plantation, named the coffee. The highest grade bore Sejun's name, the chairman of Sejun Company, and the next grade carried the name of Black Drake Mazak, the ruler of Chikasan. All right, then I'll send 100 kilograms of Sejun 94 Chikasan Black Tower to Sejun Nim on the 99th floor. After nomming the coffee, Ninir gave instructions to the Black Wolves and Silver Wolves on where to deliver it. By the way, Ninir, didn't you contact your sister to tell her you're here? Yeah, Mimir seemed to be looking for you. Hegel and Elka cautiously asked Ninir. To that, HMPH, you think my dear big sister would worry about someone like me if I went missing? She's too busy working to even care about someone like me. Ninir shouted at the two in a shrill voice. Hwararuru. Fiery flames burst from Ninir's red fur. Among the white sheep tribe, Mimir and Ninir were rare in that they were born with different colored fur. And they were sisters. The white sheep tribe was innately capable of handling lightning energy, and Mimir, born with golden fur, had displayed a high level of achievement from birth, enveloping her entire body in lightning, gaining recognition from the tribe. However, Ninir, with her red fur, had almost no talent in handling lightning energy. No, it was practically non-existent, even though she was over 10 years old. It stings. She couldn't even control the level of lightning energy that newborn white sheep tribe members could handle. Because of this, Ninir was always compared to her older sister Mimir among the white sheep tribe. The more this happened, the more Ninir felt discouraged. On top of that, when Mimir became a legendary merchant. Sai, the older sister, is a genius, but the younger sister is an idiot. Ninir faced even greater comparisons and could no longer stay in the white sheep tribe's village. HMPH, I'll become a legendary merchant too. She ran away from home, wandering the tower while working hard to earn money to become a merchant. That's when she met Theo and became a legendary merchant. And then, I'm not talentless, my talent is in fire. While working to create merchant items, Ninir realized she had incredible talent, not in handling lightning energy but in controlling fire energy. I'll work hard under Theonim and show my skills to my sister and the white sheep tribe. Ninir dreamed of returning in triumph after developing her abilities. However, she didn't know that her sister was already a senior full-time employee of Sejun Company. The next morning. All right. Sejun woke up after a good night's sleep. Meow. Kaying. He got up, taking care of Theo and the Blackie family. Maintain cleanliness. He used the skill to clean himself and his companions. Then, scribble. He marked the date on the wall and went outside and land moving. He erected a 10-meter-tall monument for Hamer, Hamer's Achievement Monument. Hamer, the god of farming, the first god to be commanded under the leadership of the great park Sejun. Sejun felt proud as he looked at the inscription he had written. I've raised them really well. Thinking about Theo, Kyungi, and the Blackie family, who made it possible for him to command Hamer. Step. He strolled through his farm. After walking for about 30 minutes, the wind cabbage is grateful for the farmer's footsteps and lends its strength. The effect of great blessing of the crops, master, activates, increasing the potential of your magic power potential from 7,157 to 7,167. His potential stat rose. Magic power, 7,167, 7167. Of course, it filled up right away. And so, Sejun slightly reduced the queue of stats waiting for him to increase his potential stat today as well. A little later. Kyung. Dad, did you sleep well? Kyungi, who had woken up, joined and clung to Sejun's side as they walked around the farm together. Then, hello. Sejun's eyes caught sight of something hard, with a mix of brown and green piled up in a heap. Did Peacebees bring this? Usually Peacebees brought slimes, but it seemed he had brought something different today. Sejun cautiously approached and touched it. This is seaweed. Nice, today's breakfast will be seaweed soup. Excited, Sejun hurriedly grabbed the seaweed and ran to the cooking area, where he washed and soaked the seaweed in water to soften it. After about 20 minutes, the seaweed had absorbed plenty of water and became soft and elastic. Today, I'll personally handle the cooking. Sejun was cooking for the first time in a long while. Since the recipe for seaweed soup wasn't registered in the cooking skill, Sejun #1 couldn't make it. Of course, once the seaweed soup recipe was registered in the cooking skill, Sejun #1 would be able to make it. Sizzle. Sejun heated the sturdy stone pot made by Eamdal and stir-fried slime meat in it, stirring until it changed color. Whoosh. He then added the soaked seaweed and stir-fried it together. Add soy sauce, garlic, and some tuna broth. After adding seasoning and ingredients, he stir-fried the meat and seaweed again to let the flavors soak in. Pour. He then added water and covered the pot. Time acceleration. Finally, he used a skill and waited for a minute. When he opened the lid, a cloudy broth of seaweed soup greeted him. You have achieved the feat of making slime meat blood-sucking leech hide soup for the first time in the tower. The recipe for slime meat blood-sucking leech hide soup has been registered in Cooking Master. Your proficiency in Cooking Master has greatly increased. A grotesquely named dish was now registered in his recipe list. It's not seaweed soup but blood-sucking leech hide soup. What's with this name? Sejun was shocked by the name of the dish. In reality, what Sejun had mistaken for seaweed was actually the corpse of a blood-sucking leech. When Peacebees had killed the blood-sucking leech, the liquid inside had drained, making the leech's skin dry out and resemble seaweed. The smell and taste were like seaweed soup, but as Sejun took a sip of the soup and tilted his head in confusion, you have achieved the great feat of creation by completing a dish using 2 types of calamities for the first time in the tower. As a reward for your great feat of creation, you have acquired the title, One Who Cooks Calamities. As a reward for your great feat of creation, you have awakened the talent, Bizarre Cooking. As a reward for your great feat of creation, the cost of staying on the 0th floor of the Black Tower will be reduced by 0.1%. A series of messages appeared. Is this system mocking me? Vice Chairman Theo, this won't do. Let's impeach the system. Hut, I agree, meow. Impeachment it is, meow. Kyungi wants to join the impeachment too. Kaying. We want to join too, let us in. And so, on the 99th floor of the Black Tower, Sejun and his companions started plotting the impeachment of the system. Despite giving Sejun titles and talents based on his achievements, the system still somehow managed to make him angry. Chapter 509, Hehe, my name means the best. Siege Shop Headquarters. The third apostle of creation, Blackie Park, witnesses your temple. Divine power increases by 5. The first subordinate of the third apostle of creation, Blackie Park, Eamdal, witnesses your temple. Trust in Park. Trust in Park, trust in Park. Lee and the other non-combat gods chanted the slogan again today as they saw the messages of increasing divine power. The seventh follower of the third apostle of creation, Blackie Park, Mubelchill, witnesses your temple. Divine power increases by 1. As the last message appeared, wow, Blackie Park's newest recruit has arrived. Cheers erupted. It meant there was one more headcount to increase divine power. The non-combat gods cheered excitedly. But the name is Mubelchill. Who came up with such a name? They started talking about Mubelchill's name. No matter how much they tried to ignore it, the name was too tragic to forget. And then, no way could it be Park Sejun. What are you talking about? Don't you know our new god of loneliness? Park Sejun is a warm-hearted human who gave the god of loneliness the name Yuri. There's no way he would come up with a weird name like Mubelchill. Ah, right, my mistake. Of course Park Sejun would never do such a thing. Thanks to Yuri's name, Sejun wasn't suspected at all in the divine realm. Since you doubted Park Sejun, say the chant 10 times. Okay, trust in Park, trust in Park, trust in. Trust in Park. Trust in Park. As one started the chant, the other non-combat gods also began chanting again. I'm so envious. Watching the chanting non-combat gods from inside were other non-combat gods who hadn't received any divine power from Sejun. At first, the atmosphere among all the non-combat gods was one of camaraderie, and they participated joyfully. But could they keep relying on others like this? At some point, as they continued to receive divine power from other non-combat gods, they began to feel ashamed, and their self-esteem gradually plummeted. I want to receive a temple from Park Sejun too, but there's no way. Envy and a sense of deprivation made them even more depressed and isolated. And then, so lonely. Eventually, they shut themselves in their homes and became completely alone. No, being alone started to feel comfortable. At that moment, knock, knock, knock. Someone knocked on the door of Vina, the god of ants. If I stay quiet, they'll just go away. Vina deliberately didn't answer. However, knock, knock, knock. The other person didn't leave and knocked on the door again, continuously. Knock, knock, knock. The knocking was steady, but it felt unhurried as if they weren't in a rush. As the knocking continued, Krieg, who is it? Vina reluctantly opened the door. And then, hello, I'm Yuri, the god of loneliness. Vinanim, can we talk? May I come in? Yuri asked in a bright voice, and hello. Vina, feeling a strange sense of happiness, unconsciously let Yuri into the house. A little later, sob, sob, I've been so lonely. As they talked, Vina began to cry. It's okay, don't feel lonely, I'll stay by your side. Really? Thank you, but Yuri, you're the god of loneliness, yet you don't seem lonely. Because I'm not alone. Not alone. Yes, because Sejun Nim is always with me. Park Sejun is with you. Yes, in my heart. For what? Vina burst out laughing at Yuri's words. It's true, so why is she laughing? Yuri gave a puzzled look. Vina Nim, let's pray to Sejun Nim together. Who knows? Sejun Nim might grant you a temple too. Yuri suggested praying to Vina. Will he? Yes, I'm sure our feelings will reach Sejun Nim. Sejun Nim, can you hear us? It's me, Yuri. Yuri, the god of loneliness, started praying to Sejun together with Vina. It was a sight where you couldn't tell who was the god. 99th floor of the Black Tower. Aileen, can you change this name? Sejun asked Aileen to rename the dish called slime meat blood-sucking leech hide soup. The name was not only hard to pronounce, but also made him think of wriggling leeches every time he saw it. The tower's administrator asks if you have a name in mind. Slime seaweed soup. He threw slime in there, as it sounded a bit better than pork seaweed soup. By the tower administrator's authority, the dish name slime meat blood-sucking leech hide soup has been forcibly renamed to slime seaweed soup. With the name changed to slime seaweed soup. Everyone, let's eat some seaweed soup. Sejun and his companions began eating the seaweed soup with white rice. Pew Hut. As expected, Chairman Park's grilled fish tastes the best, meow. Theo, as always, only ate grilled fish and Kuehe Kuang. Hehe, as expected, all of Dad's food is delicious. Kuangi, who didn't know the meaning of picky eating, also ate happily. And then, Kaying. This is that blood-sucking leech. These guys were this delicious. Chomp. Blackie and his subordinates were shocked by how delicious the blood-sucking leeches were. Slurp. While Sejun was also eating deliciously, mixing rice into the seaweed soup, he also titled, one who cooks calamities. When using a calamity as an ingredient in cooking, the dish gains special effects. First calamity, locust stat increase. Second calamity, giant blood-sucking leech, recovers a portion of damage dealt as life force when attacking an enemy. Fifth calamity, slime reduces physical damage. Talent, bizarre cooking. When eating bizarre foods, your stats increase. The more bizarre the food, the more your stats increase. Check the title and talent given by the system. Oh. While bizarre cooking, talent didn't seem like it would come in handy often, the title was really useful. He figured as long as he didn't eat anything too bizarre, the benefits of the title would outweigh any downside. Impeachment postponed. Sejun decided to hold off on impeaching the system, not that he had a way to impeach it in the first place. After enjoying a delicious breakfast, Kyungi, brew some coffee, will you? Kyung. Sejun asked Kyungi to make him some morning coffee. However, Kyungi, who had stuck his front paw into the pouch of coffee beans to make coffee, looked confused. Kyungi, what's wrong? Kyung. There's no coffee. Dad loves the morning coffee Kyungi brews for him. Kyungi's sad that Kyungi can't make him happy any. Kyungi, the filial son, showed the few coffee beans in his front paw while making a sad face. It's okay, we can just go get some more. Pew Hut, does that mean we're going on a picnic, meow? As soon as Sejun spoke, Theo rushed off, eagerly packing his bag. Kyung. It's picnic. If we're going on a picnic, we need snacks. Kilahit Kaying. I need to pack the roasted and dried sweet potatoes I hid. Kyungi and Blackie family began busily packing snacks. Thus, the journey to get coffee beans suddenly turned into a picnic. Sejun, no one, let's make some rice balls. Sejun also started making rice balls with Sejun, no one, preparing for the trip. At that moment, due to the effect of title, Top Tower Farmer, you receive 1% of the job experience and harvesting skill proficiency acquired by Ajax Maimb, White Tower's Tower Farmer. A message popped up. Ajax had harvested something, sending Sejun some job experience and skill proficiency. Hehe, nice. While Sejun was feeling pleased seeing the message due to the effect of title, Top Tower Farmer, you receive 1% of the job experience and seed sowing skill proficiency acquired by Ophelia Iorg, Green Tower's Tower Farmer. Due to the effect of title, Top Tower Farmer, you receive 1% of the job experience and harvesting skill proficiency acquired by Cecilia, Golden Tower's Tower Farmer. More messages followed, as the other tower farmers seemed to have started working. Kyung. Kaying. By then, Kyungi and Blackie had finished preparing for the picnic and were urging Sejun outside. Okay, I'm coming. Aileen, eat this. Sejun quickly sent a heart-shaped rice ball to Aileen, making sure no one else noticed. And then, meow, Pew hut. If the great hybrid Chairman Park is doing it, it must be something good, meow. I should make the same thing and give it to Iona, meow. Theo, who was clinging to Sejun's knee, also started shaping his own ball of fur with his front paws, making a heart shape. A little later, moving to the 94th floor of the Black Tower. Sejun, having arrived at the waypoint, moved to the 94th floor of the tower, where the coffee plantation was located. However, just a moment ago, Hejul Nim went up to the 99th floor to bring you some coffee, Sejun Nim. Really? I could have just waited then. They missed each other. Ninir, can I get some coffee? I couldn't have my morning coffee. Yes, just a moment. Upon Sejun's request, Ninir brewed some coffee and brought it to him. Thanks. Slurp. Sejun took a sip. Oh, this is really good. He couldn't help but exclaim at the taste of the coffee. Nihehe, what you just drank is the finest coffee we'll be selling soon, the Sejun 94 Chikasan Black Tower. Huh, but why does the coffee variety have my name in it? Well, because Sejun Nim's name means the best, of course. Ah, come on, the best, I'm not that great. Sejun tried to act modest. But, my name means the best. The corners of Sejun's mouth curled up into a crescent moon, rising high. Slurp. Delicious. Perhaps due to the praise, the coffee tasted even better. Plus, the magnificent view from the top of the mountain added to the experience. Meow meow meow, Chairman Park pet me more meow. All right. While Sejun, feeling good, petted Theo, who had sprawled belly up on his lap and sipped his coffee. Kyung. Kaying. Kyungi and Blackie family ran around Chikasan as if it were their home, playing joyfully. At that moment, thud. Kyung. What's this? Kyungi, lifting a stone to see if there was anything underneath, discovered a hole that seemed endlessly deep. Kilahit Kaying. Hee, it's adventure time. Boing. Blackie leaped into the hole without hesitation. However, Kaying. Float. Kyung. No, Blackie, it's dangerous. Kyungi's telekinesis caught Blackie midair, suspending him. We go on adventures with Dad. Kyungi gathered Blackie family and ran towards Sejun. 90th floor of the Black Tower. Kaiwo, so you're saying someone robbed Dev Nim's warehouse a week ago? Yona, her voice filled with frustration, asked the massive hippopotamus in front of her. I was about to go to Theo Nim. Yona had finally managed to delegate a task completely to Blackster, giving her some free time to go visit Theo. But then, Yona Nim, we've received a message from Dev Nim on the 90th floor of the tower. Dev, the boss of the 90th floor, where the former gravity tower had once been, had asked for help, having once offered them aid in the past. Theonim call Uenos. With disappointment in her heart, Iona made her way down to the 90th floor. Yes, that's correct. Noma, the butler at Dev's mansion, answered Iona's question in a trembling voice. Kaiwo lead me to the warehouse. Yes. Following Noma's guidance, Iona headed to the warehouse that had been robbed. Power of Mana, uncover the traces, detect. I need to finish this quickly and go to Theonim. She used magic to start searching for any traces left by the thief. And then, Kaiwat. Found it. There are traces of a teleportation magic circle leading to the 94th floor of the tower. The 94th floor is nearby, and I can even sense Theonim's presence there. Iona's voice, which had been filled with frustration, now burst into a bright, cheerful tone. Kaiwat. Then I'll depart right away, teleport. I'll catch the thief and see Theonim too. Quickly, she activated her magic. Floating. Oh, it's pretty deep here, Sejun said as he slowly descended into the hole, holding Kyungi, who was using his telekinesis. He looked down below as they went further. Even after about 10 minutes of descending, the bottom was still nowhere in sight. Though he was scared. Pew Hugh Hut, Chairman Park, I feel a pull from below, meow. Really? Encouraged by Theo's words, Sejun mustered the courage to continue going down into the hole. At that moment, Quaboom! He! A loud explosion echoed from below, and a powerful updraft suddenly surged, engulfing Sejun and his companions. And then, meow, I feel Yona's presence from down below, meow. Yona is in danger, meow. Sensing that Yona was in danger, Theo quickly used Meow Step while kicking off the wall and disappeared into the darkness. Chapter 510, That's Me. The underground of the 94th floor of the Black Tower. Swoosh! With a flash of bright light, Iona appeared. Kaiwat, where is this? Yona looked around in surprise. A massive space. Scattered all around were immense amounts of gold and treasures. Kaiwo, so much has been stolen. Yona grew furious at the sight of all the gold and treasures. She thought she'd only have to deal with Dev's matter, but there was a mountain of other stolen goods here as well. Theonim, it'll be difficult to go see you. It seemed that dealing with everything was going to take more time than expected. Kaiwo, but why are these things here? Yona looked curiously at the stones and trees scattered around the treasure. These were completely worthless stones and trees, and yet they were mixed in with the treasures, placed here and there. Now that she looked closely, something seemed off. The treasures weren't gathered in one place, but were scattered across various locations. The cut surfaces of the rocks and trees were clean, as if entire chunks of space had been carved out. Upon closer inspection, even the color of the soil was different, and the heights varied greatly. Kaiwo, what's going on? Just as Iona was starting to feel something was strange. Iona, we need to get out of here right now. Nightmare, the demon king of nightmares, spoke in a terrified voice. Kaiwat, why? Do you know something about this place? We'll be swallowed if we stay here. Kaiwat swallowed. Yona tilted her head, not fully understanding Nightmare's warning. Kaiwat. Suddenly, a shadow formed over Yona's head as a giant mass of earth began to fall. Power of gravity, defy the natural laws at my command. Reverse gravity. With a hurried cast of her anti-gravity spell, Yona managed to stop the falling earth. Fly. Float. As she rose above the floating ground, she observed. Kaiwo, this time it's a lake. On the floating mass of land was a lake, as if someone had teleported an entire lake into this space. At that moment, Yona, we need to get out quickly. This is Mobius's mouth. Nightmare, now fully convinced by the recent events, urgently pressed Iona to leave. Kaiwat, Mobius. Yes, the silent plunderer, White Whale Mobius. Get out of here quickly. All right. Though she thought Nightmare was overreacting, Iona decided there must be a reason for concern. Kaiwat. Guess I'll stop by to see Theonim for a moment. Smiling at the thought of going to see Theo, she began to cast a teleportation spell to head to where he was. Kuwu. With a strange sound, the edge of the space where Yona was opened up, and the land began to be swallowed into Mobius's throat. The throat sucked in everything, even magic power. Kaiwo, oh my magic isn't working. Yona was flustered as the magic, which had always come to her as naturally as breathing, suddenly wouldn't activate. Suddenly her connection to the 5 magic streams was cut off, and even the magic power in her body was forcibly sucked into the throat the moment she tried to release it externally. Kaiwat. Having no other choice, Iona desperately ran in the opposite direction of the throat to avoid being swallowed. But the space to escape to was limited. Kaiwo, if I knew this would happen, I should have met Theonim first. Standing at the edge of the land, Iona regretted not meeting Theo first, as she waited helplessly for her death. Just as Iona was about to be swallowed by Mobius's throat. Boom! Meow! With an explosion, Theo appeared by breaking through Mobius's mouth. Kaiwat Theonim. Pew Hut, that's right, meow, it's me, meow. Theo quickly grabbed Yona, who was about to be swallowed, and tried to exit through the hole he made while stepping on air, but meow, it's gone, meow. But the hole Theo had created had already disappeared. In that brief moment, the flesh had regenerated, sealing the hole shut. Meanwhile, Mobius's throat began to pull at Theo's mana as well. However, Theo had the ultimate movement technique, Meow Meow Step, a near-divine ability that ensured his return to Sejun no matter what. Meow Meow Step. Whoosh! With a swift motion, Theo safely escaped from Mobius's mouth, carrying Iona with him. Silent Plunderer, White Whale Mobius. Why is there a whale here? Aren't whales supposed to live in the sea? Sejun, who had followed Theo underground, was astonished when he discovered a massive white whale, over 100 meters long, floating in a massive underground lake. Kyung. Dad, what's a whale? How should I explain this? A really big fish. Kyung. Then can we eat it? Big Bro would love it if we grilled that. Is it possible to eat it? Theo would be happy if I grilled that for him. As Sejun imagined Theo happily devouring an ultra-giant grilled fish. Kyung. That guy. Suddenly, Blackie, who had been dozing off in Sejun's warmth, sensed a fragment of its core and awoke, spotting Mobius. Mobius was one of the 5 beings Blackie had failed to kill and had sealed away. Using its power of plunder, Mobius could randomly teleport entire chunks of land into its mouth. Once its mouth was filled with land through its power, it would swallow everything. And it grew and regenerated by digesting the land and everything on it, even souls. No matter how many times it was killed, Mobius revived, having consumed so much. In the end, Blackie resorted to swallowing Mobius whole as a last-ditch effort. And then, for decades, Blackie suffered from indigestion. Recalling that time, Blackie felt his stomach churn again. Kilahit Kang. Hee, but this time, things are different. We're the Blackie family. Even if Mobius could infinitely regenerate souls, there was no way it could withstand a group beating from all 8 former apostles of destruction. Kang. Guys, wake up. With that, Blackie began waking up his subordinates for revenge. Swoosh. Pew Hut, Chairman Park, I'm back, meow. Theo, who had saved Iona, clung onto Sejun's knee. Kurorong. Carrying the exhausted Iona, who was still clinging tightly to Theo's tail even while asleep. Chairman Park, please look after Iona, meow. Theo entrusted Iona to Sejun. Sure, but what are you going to do? I'll teach it a lesson for bullying Iona, meow. He flew back towards Mobius to get revenge for Iona. At that moment, I sense it, the presence of that ignorant wolf who once swallowed me. Mobius, who had been still, suddenly began moving after sensing of Blackie's energy through the breathing holes on its back. Kang. Did you just call the great Blackie ignorant? Blackie barked in rage at Mobius. Swoosh. At the same time, a blue wave-like energy resembling waves began to spread from Mobius's body. Kyung. Except for Kyungi, who was faintly surrounded by a dark red energy, everyone else was engulfed by Mobius's blue energy and fainted. Where is this? Sejun looked around as he regained consciousness. Great Hybrid Chairman Park, are you all right, meow? Theo, still hanging onto Sejun's knee, asked. Yeah, I think so, but where are we? Everything suddenly went dark. As Sejun looked around again. Kaiwat, Sejunim, are you all right? A pure white hamster about 15 meters in size spoke to Sejun. Among the hamsters I know, only Iona makes kaiwat sounds and is white. Could it be Iona? Sejun asked cautiously toward the giant hamster. Kaiwat, yes. Iona answered with a bright smile. Tisk, is this your first time in a mental world? Why are you so surprised? A woman, standing next to Iona and about 5 meters taller than her, clicked her tongue and looked at Sejun with disdain. So this is a mental world. Thanks to that, Sejun realized why Iona was bigger than him here. But who's this acting so familiar with me? The woman had pale skin, red hair with horns on both sides of her head. She was someone Sejun had never seen before. Who are you?" Sejun asked, looking at the woman. "I'm Nightmare, the one you tried to annihilate." Nightmare, still holding a grudge against Sejun, replied in a sharp tone. Surrounded by strong allies, Sejun no longer felt the fear like before. "Ah, so you have a form here in the mental world. But why is she speaking informally? She used to call me Sejun Nim and speak respectfully." As Sejun began to feel annoyed and was about to question Nightmare. Kaiwo, Nightmare, what's with your tone towards Sejun Nim?" Iona scolded Nightmare, beating Sejun to the punch. "That's right, Meow. Nightmare, you're being rude, Meow. Supergiant Chairman Park, give her a good scolding, Meow." Theo also joined in, angry at Nightmare. And then, thud, a massive pillar behind Sejun started to move. Grab. Suddenly, the sky darkened as a giant hand appeared, grabbing Nightmare. "Alag, I'm sorry, ye." Nightmare was lifted up and shaken out like a rag. "What? That Park Sejun guy is clearly over there, but..." Nightmare was confused seeing two Sejuns. "Huh? That's me." Sejun was just as equally confused. "Pew Hut, great hybrid Chairman Park, that's Supergiant Chairman Park protecting my mental world, meow." Theo proudly introduced the over 100 m tall, Supergiant Chairman Park to Sejun. It felt strange that only Theo was small, so he has been growing that kind of thing in his mental world all along. As Sejun tried to wrap his head around this incredibly bizarre mental world. Thud, thud. Grrrr, Butler, there's no time for this. Get on quickly. A giant wolf crouched down in front of Sejun, lowering its body. "Is that you, Blackie?" "Of course it's me. How could you not recognize the great Blackie?" Blackie got angry at Sejun's cautious attitude, feeling hurt. "No, of course I recognize you. It's just, you've gotten a lot bigger." As Sejun got on Blackie's head along with Theo, Leona, and Nightmare. "Hoo, how's this? Impressive, right? This is my true form." Thinking that Sejun had complimented him, Blackie stood tall, puffing up in pride. "Where, that damned wolf?" Thud, thud. Along with an angry voice, a giant whale with arms and legs charged towards them. Grrrr, Butler, hold on tight. Everyone, let's show them the power of the Blackie family. Yes. Blackie and the 7 former apostles of destruction charged toward Mobius. Thud, thud. Behind them, Supergiant Chairman Park also joined the charge. At that moment, boom, boom. For some unknown reason, Supergiant Chairman Park began growing even larger as it ran. The reason? Meow, meow, meow. It was because of Theo, who was hugging Sejun's knee. Theo, who was drawing infinite energy through his connection to the real Sejun, was in turn passing that energy to Supergiant Chairman Park, making it even stronger. Supergiant Chairman Park was evolving once again into Ultra Supergiant Chairman Park. A short while later. "Isn't it cheating to fight 9 against 1, you unfair wolf? What, can't you even count? There's 8 of us, and how dare you call the great Blackie an unfair wolf? If it's unfair, go get some reinforcements yourself." Boom. As Mobius was being relentlessly attacked by the Blackie family, the now gigantic Ultra Supergiant Chairman Park slammed a colossal fist down on Mobius's head. "You have achieved the great feat of creation for annihilating the immortal silent plunderer, White Whale Mobius. As a reward for this great feat of creation, you have obtained the title, Human and Cat Who Destroyed Immortality." Through the effect of title, Human and Cat Who Destroyed Immortality, you become stronger when fighting immortal beings together. Sejun and Theo shared the final blow and the achievement. "Pew Hut, Chairman Park, let's take that, meow." Theo pointed to the 2 orbs that appeared in the spot where Mobius had perished. A blue orb and a black orb, Silent Plunderer, White Whale Mobius's Power Stone, Absolute Smell. Silent Plunderer, White Whale Mobius's Power Stone, plunder. These were power stones, containing the core powers that represented Mobius. Grab. As Sejun collected the power stones, the mental world began to rapidly shrink. Before long, Sejun's vision turned dark again. And then, Long. Hello. Sejun regained his senses back in reality. Kyung. What did you do to Kyungi's dad? Big bro, sis, and younger siblings, wake them up quickly. Boom, boom, boom. Sejun spotted supergiant Kyungi violently swinging Mobius around by its tail.